we on the air?
We're on the air.
Oh,
We're on the air.
Fuck yes.
Fuck this movie.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to Fuck This Movie, the movie where we fuck movies and then talk about them.
Yeah.
Movies and fucking and movies and
I
fucking.
mean, there is like a
We get it all.
there's a fair amount of fucking.
There is a comma. Don't
Yeah.
don't be
Right.
deceived.
Right. Yeah. Here, what episode is this?
35.
Man, getting deep.
We are getting deep.
35.
We're almost balls deep.
Where do the balls start?
That voice you hear is the man who watched everything, Reese Anweiler.
It's still happening actively.
You're still watching everything?
Yeah.
Everything.
It's good because like we go straight from the intros to the what have you guys been watching segment,
Yeah.
and I have nothing to contribute. So you can just contribute double.
Yeah.
There's one thing that we have to talk about that we
Chaos?
watched together. No. Well, that too, technically.
Oh.
No, the AVP.
Oh yeah, we did do that.
We can shit all over that movie because can confirm.
Oh my god,
That
dude!
thing's
I
a
already
piece
put it.
of
I
shit.
already put it out of my mind.
It's just so sad because it feels like the biggest, like the
So-
easiest thing to make
So
a fun AVP.
determine
let's
the
finish
problem.
the intro
Okay,
portion.
Okay.
All right,
Do it.
the guy who I'm gonna be bitching about AVP with is John Brown. He's too old to be cool,
That's me.
and I need no introduction. So anyway, yes, right into it.
Yeah.
DJ Holla.
No, we figured
There's
out
an intro.
why
First one ever.
it's definitely the worst Alien movie by a mile.
No. We determined it's not an alien movie.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that's why because
like,
it's a Predator.
So John
Yeah.
was just like, oh, but this, like, he was like bitching like for like 30 minutes. I'm like, dude, I just figured it out. This is a Predator movie.
Yeah.
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 And then
It's a
did you
Predator
watch the
movie.
second
Yes.
one?
I did when it came out and it was trash.
Yeah,
too,
it's
from what I
it's
remember.
also bad. It might even be
Yeah.
worse, but that one does feel like it's trying to take some pages out of the Aliens.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Wh-
a multiple.
Which one are you
aliens.
talking about?
Alien versus Predator 2.
I have not seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it if you watch it for completion, but you can.
It's
skip
really bad.
So-
it's worse than the first
So
one.
that was
Yeah.
my big
It's less
takeaway
memorable for
because
sure.
we were bitching about everything left and right. Just like, well, this is terrible and this is blah and this is worse because we hadn't seen it
Yeah.
like in forever,
Yeah.
right? Like since it basically
Since
came,
it came out is the last time I
Yeah,
saw
and
it.
so
for
like this
sure.
was the rewatch, and then I had this anomaly like John, we're looking at this the wrong way. This is just a Predator movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then like once you start thinking about it in those terms, like it's just a Predator movie,
yeah,
then you start ranking it against
bad movie.
Predator
yeah.
and Predators.
It doesn't do too much
And
for
the
it.
Predator.
Yeah, it doesn't do that much for it. But it
Um,
definitely
well,
like
But
no,
getting
no,
it away
I mean,
from the
it's-
Alien franchise
Yeah.
is important.
Alien is like when Alien's its best. It's like
The worst
cinema.
Alien movie is
When
so
Predator
much
at its
better than
best,
Alien
it's like
versus Predator.
schlock.
yeah, no, it's like it's a fun action movie.
And
at
it
best.
fits right in with like even the Predator timeline, but it,
Right.
it fucks up the entire Alien timeline.
Yeah. No, it's,
What's
it was
what's
so
the worst?
painfully bad.
Like, was it Covenant? Is Covenant the worst Alien movie?
I think
I don't even know if it's the
That's-
worst. I just think it's the most.
I think if you
dysfunctional.
polled people, you'd probably get Alien Resurrection.
Yeah. Okay. So if we
Yeah.
say
The
if we say
popular
Alien
vote,
Resurrection is the worst Alien movie, like
Which I
Alien
don't,
versus
I don't
Predator is
personally
worse
jive
than
with.
Alien Resurrection. I feel.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
it's a crime
like,
to
like
even
by a lot.
have that conversation. No, to me, I don't know. I'm a purist for Alien, and I love all of them for what they are. I only say Covenant is my least. It's not the worst film by any means. It's still a pretty okay sci-fi film.
I enjoy Covenant.
I
Visuals
just-
are incredible.
No, it's a good movie. It's just the only big beef I have with Covenant is that it just destroys the timeline.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think it's a fine movie.
Yeah.
Like, and I still think Resurrection is also a fine movie. It's just so off the beaten path for what the franchise had been that I think it's weird because it's a weird filmmaker and people couldn't handle the weird.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, without that, I mean, AVP is just like it's an insult to the whole franchise to even like put them together.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe AVP is worse because it's more memorable, so it's like memorably bad. Because
Right.
AVP 2 is like is bad, but I can like not remember anything from
I just remember being annoyed the entire time. I just
Yeah.
remember hating the entire film.
It's very early 2000s with like every character is a piece of shit and like it's dark.
I feel like I need to watch this movie.
Yeah, I mean, we may as well since we went ahead and pulled the trigger on the other.
Yeah.
It's the only alien. It's the only alien movie you've never seen, right?
Yeah, at this point,
yeah, it is.
I guess you might as well watch it.
Yeah, we have to. And it'll be just as bad. But dude, even like the simple things, like the fucking camera work and the sequencing, like the pacing of AVP, like all of it was trash. Every piece of it was trash.
I wish we had like
all of it. God.
Yeah.
We were several deep at this point, so my memory, like I just remember everything being bad.
Yeah,
like
everything across the board.
Were you balls deep at that point?
Well, I don't really want to make that
I was balls deep in something.
Oh shit.
All right. So what?
Well,
so
that was
I guess,
fuck Alien v.
Yeah, I guess
I blew my wad on what I've been watching.
Yeah,
like
so
already.
I guess since that's a tie-in,
AVP.
since a tie-in to me, I'll go ahead and go from there. Speaking.
Wait. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I feel like this is the time to bring up this information.
Do you have a tidbit?
I did do the research.
Oh no!
Get the numbers on the amount of nudity and sex in Forbidden World.
Okay, let's check it out. I mean, that one feels like it's a good quarter, if not half. No, it'd probably be a good like.
I'll say again, it was less than I thought.
Yeah.
But it's still okay. So the movie is 75 minutes long. There's about 7.5 minutes.
I just have to ask to get this info. Is there like a hidden calculator online, or did you rewatch the movie and use a stopwatch?
There probably is a calculator online. I probably should just Googled it.
But you watched it and did a stopwatch?
I put it on Amazon, back on Amazon, and just fast forwarded to the sex scenes, and then just timed how long those were, and then added it all up.
I bet you that was a terrible day for you.
Oh, it's terrible. But 7.5 minutes out of a 75-minute movie, so 10% of the movie is sex and nudity.
All right.
I don't remember what percentage The Handmaiden was, but I know it was about 11 minutes.
Yeah, so it's probably, I mean,
similar.
Yeah, it's probably Handmaiden's probably technically less by a measure. I think again, like, and we talked about it, like, it was so consuming to me when we were watching The Handmaiden because, like, I just did not expect that from that dude. Like, that just blindsided me.
Yeah.
When you watch a Roger Corman shitty 80s sci-fi, it's like, you expect nonsense, you know, so it at least feels more natural there. But yeah, no, it's a lot. I will not argue that. It was a lot. But at least
the movie
accompanied by space saxophone. Okay?
Yes. Oh yeah. That was the other thing. I was fast forwarding through it. I was like, damn. There's one scene where the younger of the girls is walking. She put on her robe and like her suntan.
She's in it for the rest of the movie, baby.
Glasses. Yeah, she is actually.
Yeah.
She put on her like suntan glasses and she's walking down the hallway and it's shot like pretty sick and the soundtrack is like so dope in that scene.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, someone was cooking here. The cinematographer was like, yes, I get to make my masterpiece.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of good stuff in that.
My favorite part of that movie is that she puts on that robe and then never takes it off. And like the whole rest of the movie, I kept thinking it's almost like she's like the lone porn star, like making her first like feature appearance and like didn't know how to dress. It just wanders into every scene in a bathrobe.
Yeah,
I don't even. She's ready to go.
Movie's a gem. Well, thank you for your due diligence, Reese. Now we know. You know.
You're welcome for my sacrifice.
Yeah. All right, so on to this. Speaking of bad space movies, it had just started playing after watching something the other day. Space Truckers.
Space Truckers.
It has it's the dude from Speed, the villain from Speed. And
Hopper?
Yeah, Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper. So it had like Dennis Hopper and a bunch of super recognizable like now B-list actors as the cast, which it had to be the whole thing's entire budget was just these people, and like it honestly probably could have been okay with the cast if it had a little bit better writing. Like it could have been what it was going for, but it just wasn't there. Like
Dennis Hopper is a really fucking weird dude, man.
Oh, he is. Yeah,
he's
a weird
Charles
Dance.
He's the David Lynch of actors.
Yeah. No, there's like
He's worked a lot with David.
He's
Lynch.
worked a lot with David Lynch. It makes sense.
No, yeah, he's kind of like a Nicolas Cage, and it feels like, I guess he just did
He just did anything that was offered to him.
because he was like a pretty well like regarded actor at some point.
Yeah, no. I mean, it wasn't like the movie was what it was. It wasn't as bad as I thought, but yeah, no, it's great. It's fantastic.
Space truckers.
Space truckers. No, with a better script, I feel like it could have actually been a movie, like a good B movie, right? Like it had fine production quality for a B movie. It had a better cast than a B movie.
Where did you find this?
It just autoplayed on Amazon.
Oh, it's from the director of Reanimator.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you needed a better writer. Because that was the only thing I could say. It's just the writing was dog shit. But like, the movie felt pretty well put together, and the cast was respectable. So I was like, man, almost, guys, almost. Yeah. So if you ever are watching something on Amazon and this happens to autoplay, maybe watch it, maybe not.
Oh, I would watch a movie in a heartbeat called Space Truckers.
No, I don't think it would autoplay with anything that I'm watching.
Well, I don't think it had any tie to anything that it autoplayed from. So, yeah. The other thing I guess that we watched at the same time was Chaos, the Netflix series.
Yeah, that was the other thing on my list. And
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm already through the season.
Yeah. No, it was a good ending too.
Like Molly afterwards was like, "Man, I really hope this gets renewed for." I'm like, "This is gonna get renewed for a second."
Yeah, especially with
it's
the
kind of a
cast.
no-brainer. Everything about it was great. Like
it's going. It's just good stuff.
Very fun. Very fun. Like the whole setting is like. Well, this is a series, by the way.
Modern Olympus.
Yeah. Basically,
Greek,
it's our modern world, but instead of like Christianity being like the kind of
dominant religion. It's like the fucking Greek mythology.
The Greek gods, but the thing is, like, there's actually, like, they are, it's not just like, oh, is he there? Like, no, they're there, and they're wrecking fucking havoc and doing all kinds of stuff.
Which honestly, like, if the Greek gods were real, that's how they would be. That's how the myths are. It's like, and then Zeus came down and turned into a goose and fucked a woman.
You fuck your mom.
It's great. I feel like it's one of the most well cast series. I've seen in a long time. All the gods are appropriate. Stephen Delaney as Prometheus, I think, is my favorite. He spends most of the series like chained to some rocks, having his liver eaten by a bird. But like
some 80s fucking basketball shorts.
But he also serves as like the narrator in a way. It's just a shit ton of fun.
Yeah, no, it's a super good series. I highly recommend it to anybody.
And all the gods are really well represented, I think.
Yeah, they are, and they represented.
Jeff Goldblum as Zeus is just out of this world.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
The whole character is just high anxiety and like just everything that is Jeff Goldblum.
No, it's
I need to watch it.
It's good stuff. So past that, on Shudder they put Faces to Death on, which I had never seen.
So what exactly is that?
So this is the thing.
Wait, Faces of Death?
Faces of Death from -- yeah, that's on Shudder.
Oh, yeah,
now.
okay. So there's a whole. I've seen them all.
Right. So the thing is,
which, by the way, John, congratulations. You are now as sick of a fuck as I am because I have also watched that.
So the thing is, though, this is it fucked me up a little bit because from everything I've ever heard or known of Faces of Death, because I never watched it. It was just like, oh my god, it's so fucked up. It's all this fucked up shit. It's all this fucking crazy murder, death, and fucked up shit. And I watch it, and it's a really dry fucking documentary with narration for all these like things that happen somewhere, and the narration is like not okay with anything that's happening. Like the tone of the film overall is that like this kind of sucks. Maybe we shouldn't do this. Look how awful this is.
Interesting.
This isn't good.
But you are seeing like real people dying.
Well, it's not just people; it's animals.
Yeah.
Like it's like
so. Shudder.
Dude, it is like the most dirtbate thing you can watch.
Shudder's
really
synopsis is like, is it real? Is it not? You'll have to Google it to find out. And I mean, it seems real enough, and it's not like crazy. Like it's just.
I've seen a bunch of them.
It's just like people filming things that get murdered on a day-to-day basis. Really, like. or maybe some found footage of a crime or whatever.
I have a fun story to piggyback off of the Faces of Death. So I watched a bunch of them, and in one of the ones that I watched, there was this lady who went swimming in a like pond that was like next to some like biochemical facility that was dumping their waste in it, and like the police were called like to an emergency situation, and this chick had a leech on her arm that went from her wrist to basically the crease of her elbow.
Jesus.
Yeah, so we're talking like a fucking like almost 2 foot leech.
Yeah.
And like they were trying to get it off of her arm, and like the narration is like they tried to cut it off at first. They literally took a knife and cut the leech lengthwise, which these are people who don't know anything about leeches, because you cut it and it just digs its teeth in sharper, like deeper. And like, so what they had to do was they got somebody there with a blowtorch, and they like had to blowtorch it off, which fucked up her arm, which is fine because the chick got some kind of an infection and died. Yeah, apparently, is what they said in the narration. But the thing that was crazy about this is I saw this when I was like 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
When I was in my freshman year of high school, in one of my science classes, I think it was like biology or something. They were talking about, I don't even know what it was, but like that same fucking leech was in the textbook. A picture of the leech is like the world's largest leech was in the textbook, and I'm like, I saw that on Faces of Death.
I mean, hey, that's some confirmation. Yeah. Like, all right. No, I couldn't quite glean from it. All looked real enough to me, and it was all like, it didn't seem anything like that was like would have been faked, because it was all just matter of fact. Like,
I mean, if you think about it, there's plenty of stuff we've seen in movies that the only reason we know it's fake is because they tell us it's fake. It looks like we've definitely seen movie violence that.
I'm just saying, real. from it being 78, and again, it wasn't really like, it wasn't movie violence. It was just violence, and it was all stuff that's like, hey, here's how these people harvest these animals. Here's how this is processed. Here's this footage from
like dude, it's fucking some of it's like they literally have like in one of them they have like a Korean family where the dad like literally grabs a fucking puppy out of a kennel with a fucking chef's knife and just starts making dinner out of a puppy.
Jesus.
Right. And I mean, people do eat puppies.
And there's there was one where this restaurant in like, I want to say like Africa or something, where like they put this maybe it wasn't Africa, maybe it was like some
talking about the chimpanzee. Where they like crack its head open.
And the monkey brain. Yeah, well, they put it in this like little box in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
And like they all, like everyone at the table, it's like a whole family is surrounding it, and they all get a little like tiny little hammer, and like they all just like take turns like cracking this monkey on the head until they crack its skull open and they eat its brains.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Dude, it's fucking, it's crazy. It's fucking nuts.
It was not what I expected it to be, because like I said, from everything
it'll piss you off. It'll literally make you angry. I
expected it to be a glorification of violence.
Yeah.
And that's not what it was. Like the narration the entire time, and I didn't watch the whole thing from start to finish. I skipped ahead and like watched scenes. But I did see about every scene. I skipped to about every scene of each story of the thing that was filmed. And the narration was never pro what was happening. The narration was always, maybe not do this. Yeah. Maybe we could figure something else out. This kind of sucks.
John, they all blend together for me, but did the one that you watched, did it have an electric chair execution?
Yes. Yes,
it did have that was fucking gross too, because like, you've heard about like the electric, like you actually seeing it, like their fucking eyes explode.
Yeah.
And, like, dude, it's crazy. Yeah. Like their head catches on fire. Like,
that's a thing that I'm sure has been filmed.
Yeah. It might even be filmed every time for like a legal reason or something.
So it was interesting. It was not what I thought. It was not pro-death. It was just looking at death.
It is kind of for sick fuckers, man. Like,
It has like a punk rock soundtrack.
Yeah.
Dad! Oh, fucking watch this monkey die, dude! Fuck yeah!
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
Oh, I
It's something
fucking love Dad!
Yeah, no, that's what I thought it would be, and instead it was just this dry English dude like, well, this kind of sucks, but they do this over here, like, so that was that.
Probably a good helping of racism too. I'm sure if it was made in the 70s.
Yeah.
The savages then beat the monkey to death.
Yeah. No, all the people that were killing the monkey were just like were rich white people. It wasn't a family.
no,
It
dude,
was like people
that was
at
one of the worst
restaurant.
ones because literally the monkey can't move. And
Yeah.
so one of them will crack it on the head and it'll turn and look at him like screech, and then
Yeah.
another one from behind it will crack it, and like it's so barbaric.
So, second to last movie I wanted to talk about was Nowhere, which was a Spanish film on Netflix about a woman trapped in a shipping container, which I looked at it many times, and I hate trapped in things movies because they're mostly kind of stupid in my opinion, and they're very one-dimensional. They don't really go anywhere, obviously. Yeah. So, we said fuck it and watched it, and it was actually really pretty solid. I was very satisfied with every part of it. It was a woman trapped
Did
in a
it
shipping
go somewhere?
container. It did go somewhere. It actually did. It was so.
Did it go out of the shipping container?
The premise is this chick. It's like a pseudo dystopian alternate reality
Okay.
set in a country where there's a new military dictatorship that's coming to power. There's a food shortage, and people are getting murdered and trucked away, black bag left and right. I think they're specifically killing mostly women and children. I think because it was kind of weird to me, but the more I thought about it, I guess that makes an amount of sense because if there's a food shortage and you're a fucking military dictatorship, you probably want people that are useful and smaller people are less useful, I guess. So I don't know, but a bunch of the population trying to flee as they do when terrible military dictatorships happen, and so it's a woman and her husband. Woman's pregnant, getting trying to buy their way out via shipping container to go to some other place in the Western world that's a little bit nicer. I think they were trying to go to Ireland, but when she gets put on the boat, or that container gets, well, actually, just before the container gets put on the boat, it gets stopped and investigated, obviously, and everyone on the shipping container gets fucking murdered except this chick, brutally too. Even like a little fucking 8-year-old girl just gets fucking mercilessly gunned down.
But the British narrator, is like, oh, should this 8-year-old girl really need to die?
Yeah. So she escapes that, gets onto the shipping container, but at sea, ship runs into a storm, shipping container gets thrown overboard, and now she is trapped in said shipping container with, I think, 6 or so boxes of things that she then uses the rest of the film
Like
to survive.
food and stuff? Or...
It's not food. It's the movie, it's well put together in that everything is viable, assuming this person is lucky enough for exactly what happens to happen.
Yeah.
So it's like a shipping container of sweaters, a shipping container of Tupperware, a shipping container of earbuds, random shit. But she uses it all
Yeah.
through the course
as
of the
you do.
movie.
Did she strip the wire out of the earbuds?
Yeah, she made a rope out of the earbuds. She plugged the bullet holes that were in the shipping container.
She shits in the
with
Tupperware.
She used the Tupperware to catch water when it rains. She uses the Tupperware to send SOS notes in a bottle.
Oh, so that's the other thing. You told me earlier that one of the unrealistic
She gives
things.
birth.
She gives
Yeah.
birth, and then the water is completely clean.
The one unrealistic thing, super other than just the chance that it takes to make the concept of this movie work,
Yeah.
is that she gives birth to this baby, which is not completely unrealistic in this situation. But yeah, water, clean as day. And I've seen a baby born. That's not true.
But on top of that, is there a place she's been shitting in this
They do not cover.
She
cover the
she
peeing
gives
once.
birth in the water,
She gives birth in the container, yeah.
in the container which has got water.
Yeah,
In
water in it. At that point, it's a good, knee high.
This is like salt water, right? This would be a
Yeah,
I guess it would be.
it'd be a painful birth.
it would be. It would be
Probably
painful.
be good for
She was
you.
in pain most of the time
Mm.
of the movie.
Salt's good for
But
your
no,
wounds.
it's pretty funny because the water was pretty clear. I
Just
guess
think
they should have had
there's
like
a bunch of white women out there that would pay probably like 6 figures
Yes.
to give
This
birth
is a
like
business. This is a
Yeah,
business
for
plan
sure.
that we've got
that.
here.
Oh yeah.
But no, one of the
Just buy a
things
shipping
that,
container and fill it with salt water.
one of the things that she has is a drill with like a bit to drill through metal that someone else brought along. I think because they knew they were being transported in a shipping container
Yeah.
to be able to like breathe it, that like put out air holes. So she ends up using that to basically drill through and pry open a segment to get out of the shipping container. All in all, like, she does survive. The baby survives.
No, no, just
Oh.
I kind of want to watch this.
No, it's a
Spoilers.
good experience. It's actually a
man.
really solid movie. The
Yeah.
performances are really
I know,
solid.
which is why I wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
It's on
You ruined
Netflix.
it.
Netflix.
Yeah, I might watch
No,
it.
I really do recommend it. Like I said, I avoid every trapped in a thing movie ever because mostly they suck.
Yeah.
But this one really surprised me. So I do recommend Nowhere. Currently on Netflix. And then the last thing I want to talk about was Serial Mom from '94,
Kathleen Turner,
and that was fun as
Ricky
fuck.
Lake.
Ricky Lake wasn't as fun,
Rick Lake.
but it was okay. The movie was solid, so I enjoyed it despite Ricky Lake. No, it was a
I
lot of
also
fun.
think Matthew
Ooh,
Lillard's
John
kind of
Walters.
shit.
He's not great, but
Yeah.
he's like okay there. Like
He's just playing he's a teenager
he's
playing,
playing
a teenager.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like it's exactly
So,
what
like
it is.
it's funny because he played a teenager for like 20 years after that. But
Yeah.
He actually was
Yeah.
a teenager
Yeah,
when
yeah,
that
yeah.
movie was made.
No, Kathleen Turner like really steals the show. It's a wonderful performance. It was super fun. Character is impressive because she just murder motherfuckers like left and right and continuing her like suburban housewife duties all the while and like keeping like the most chipper demeanor no matter what. But she would just stop what she's doing like I'm gonna get this motherfucker right now.
The movie's like what,
94 I think.
94? I remember like seeing it around then, maybe 95. And I just remember how it was like so lighthearted, or like it was just like, oh, mom,
Yeah,
over
no.
there murdering
Well,
somebody again.
The dad is
like-
just like the biggest useless dunce ever, so he just goes along with whatever. Her son is obsessed with horror movies, so he's not that worried about the people she's killing. And then her daughter is too preoccupied with giving the detective googly eyes and trying to get fucked pretty much the entire time to care. So, yeah, she pretty much just gets to run around doing like.
She's worried about how this is affecting her social calendar.
Yeah, no, the murders are downright ridiculous though, because there's a point where she's like at a fucking flea market with one of her friends, and like the friend basically steals a fucking fire poker, or like gets a fire poker at a steal, and then she like her girlfriend's or her daughter's boyfriend that had spurned her daughter, she saw it there with another girl, so she's like, I'll be right back, and just like goes and murders this motherfucker in the men's room real quick and just goes back about her business. Like all the murderers are just like, all right, well, I'm doing this now, and just like stops what she's doing and murders a motherfucker, then just goes about her shit. It was pretty funny, dude.
Yeah, no, that sounds really fun. I feel like I've seen the poster for this, and it really all
Yeah,
yeah.
probably. No, I
brushed it off.
I highly
didn't realize
recommend
it
you
was-
watch it.
I have a
Directed by
great
John Waters.
double
Yeah,
feature
yeah.
suggestion for this film. If you've never seen Serial Mom and you want to see Serial Mom, plan a 2-movie evening and watch it with Ed and his dead mother.
Yeah.
It's a nice little Steve Buscemi film
Ooh,
for you.
fun. Yeah, I'm almost certainly going to watch this like very soon.
Yeah, no, it was a
very
load of
fun.
fun. It was a load of fun. I really had a good time with it.
It was kind of a blockbuster when it came out. I remember,
Yeah.
like it was a lot of trailers at the time.
All right, that does it for me, I think. It's pretty much the
Alright.
highlights. I think I watched some other shit, but that was the stuff I really wanted to talk about.
Anything else
Jeez.
you
Take
want
it away.
to cover?
I got nothing, man. He
got
took.
nothing?
Yeah, I had 2 when he took them.
Okay.
We talked about them together.
We did.
Well-
Chaos and AVP.
I was gonna wait like till closer to October to start Halloween movies, but I couldn't wait any longer.
help yourself.
Had
Yeah.
to I
They're some
had
of the
to
most
start
fun movies.
with the spooky movies. There's just so many I want to watch, and only so much time. So like, why not just do it now?
I just realized there is something that I watched that I need to talk about. So continue.
So, some of the highlights. I watched The House of the Devil. Have you seen that?
I feel like I have.
It's directed by Ty West, who he did the Maxine trilogy.
Is that what's the premise? Is it the babysitter?
Yes.
Yeah. No, that movie's great.
Yeah,
I just
it was
watched
awesome.
that.
It's like such a slow burn because like
Yeah, I know.
literally nothing happens.
What was this film called?
This is called House of the Devil.
Okay.
It's probably streaming somewhere.
Ty West has
It,
been
it
pretty
was
solid
on.
with
It
his
was
stuff.
on Shudder when I watched it last.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just watched it probably 4 months ago. What I love about it is once shit gets going, the main character doesn't do anything fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Like she actually does what she should do in a given
Yeah.
moment. Like
Yeah.
oh, this bad guy dropped a gun. Well, I'm gonna pick that motherfucker up. Like, no, it's a very good slow burn. It goes so much faster than you think it does.
Yeah.
Because it's so slow, but somehow with it being so slow, it's so engaging.
No,
it's
honestly,
killer.
at one point I paused it because I was like, okay, this is a 2-hour movie, and I'm probably like an hour into it.
Yeah.
And then I paused it, and it's a 95-minute movie,
Yeah.
and I was 80 minutes into it.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, it's about to end.
Yeah. No,
That's the
end
worst
is,
feeling.
The end is quite
It's like- it was
quite dynamic.
Yeah.
A lot goes on. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I really like Ty West. I love.
And what John said about how the film had the they didn't do anything stupid. I think he's pretty good at avoiding tropes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just thinking the most recent one I saw was Pearl, and like Pearl, it's kind of impossible because like basically your slasher is the main character.
Yeah.
So
And
it's pretty hard to deal with a bunch of like everyone else just seems like a like a helpless fucking sacrificial animal or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But or even when he does like X and Maxine, it's really all about diving into the tropes and just turning them up to the max and stuff. So yeah, I really like Ty West. I'm excited to see what he continues to do. I've now seen all of his like real major movies.
Right.
He's got an early one from 2013 called The Sacrament. I might have to check that one out.
That sounds familiar. I feel like I may have seen that.
And then I watched a new movie in theaters. I don't know if it's still there, unfortunately, but a new A24 horror movie. Though after seeing it, it's a little. I don't know what genre to call it. I don't know, but The Front Room, starring Brandy.
Yeah, we talked about that one. That you were going to see it. Yeah.
And it's really small scale movie. Almost the entire thing takes place just in this house, not in like a cliche, not a cliche, not like a ooh look what we're doing type of way, but just like that's just the way the story is told. I also found out afterward it's directed by Robert Eggers' brothers.
Mm-hmm.
The
like
director
plural?
Huh?
Like plural?
Yeah,
Like
it's directed by
like
Max
all of his
and
brothers.
Sam Eggers.
Okay, so two of them.
Two brothers, and then
Two
Robert
brothers.
Robert Eggers. For those
it's like a
who,
Rick and Morty
who
episode.
don't remember, is the director of The Lighthouse and Witch. But apparently his brothers are directing now too. It's very interesting, but it's a really, really gross movie because it's a young couple, and their mother-in-law moves. Brandy's mother-in-law moves in with them, and she is like using her elderly status to like abuse Brandy by like acting like she's incontinent and like shitting her pants just so Brandy has to clean it up and stuff.
God.
So it is,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fluids.
Yeah.
But it's a really intense, weird, and kind of fun ride. I would recommend it.
Interesting. Yeah, I would check that out.
Because John's been
Bodily
talking,
fluids. Count me
I'm
in.
down for weird movies.
I will say, I think except for semen, I think you see all human bodily fluids in the movie.
Oh, I had one other thing to talk about, but it's okay.
Semen always gets a bad
Forgot.
rap.
Well, this might be related. I don't know. Child's Play?
Oh, I watched Candyman.
Candyland?
Candyman.
Oh, I love Candyman. Wait,
Yeah.
the new one or the old one?
Old one.
Because the new one is pretty, but not super good.
I didn't even realize there was a new one. No, I watched Candyman the other day.
Candyman's fucking awesome.
It's fucking solid, man. I really enjoyed every part of it. Like,
Yeah.
I really was I enjoyed it because there was no clean resolution at all. There's no like day to be saved. There's no beating the bad guy. It's just like, hey, you're fucked, and this is you getting fucked. Like, here we go.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was great.
It's like it's too late. You dug in.
Yeah.
You're dead
No,
now.
as soon as she fucked around, it's like, well, because the whole time after this shit kicks off, I'm just looking at Alicia like, there can't be anywhere this goes. Because she like, when she challenges Candyman and he shows up, he's like, all right, bitch, I'm going to show you I'm real. Next scene is she's woken up in somebody's apartment covered in blood, fucking dead dog, baby missing, blood in every part of the apartment. She picks up a knife, like, to defend herself, hypothetically, which is fair enough to do, but then the mom of the missing baby attacks her, then she fucking knifes the mom, and it's like, well, you're fucked. You're not getting out of this.
It's a really unique kind of slasher type movie. Not because it's not really a slasher, but
it's supernatural in a way. No, it was cool.
I mean, like Candyman gets put next to Freddy and Jason.
And it's so different. It's definitely a much better done movie. Like, I think the first film is really solid.
Yeah, I have heard the sequels are really nothing worth watching.
Yeah.
But the first one, fantastic.
Are there multiple sequels?
I believe there's Candyman 2 and then Candyman Day of the Dead.
It's probably like the Darkman thing, like lost some soul
different
rights.
directors.
Yeah, like nothing's the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry to interject there. I did want to talk about that one.
No, you're good. I love Candyman.
Kick-ass movie.
So because John's been talking about it so much, I continued the Chucky franchise and watched Child's Play 3. And honestly, I kind of really loved it.
Yeah?
I thought...
John and I were talking about that the other day. I think that was one of my most memorable ones of the franchise. I really, that's one that's in a military school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's... I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't think he's in more after this movie. But I really like that Chucky is growing up with this character, the kid character.
Yeah.
Like, the kid is the main character of the first three movies.
I like this one because he's
Yeah.
not a kid anymore. He's like kind of a young,
he's
like kind of a young adult.
and he's like literally dealing with like PTSD and stuff.
Yeah. No, I really want to watch the second and third really bad.
I really liked it. I think I really liked it's got a really low score for some reason. I don't know why. I liked the second one more than I was expecting, and then I think I like this one even more than the second one. And I am also a huge sucker for 90s horror movies. And this, the opening scene of this is like the CEO of the company being like, "Welcome to the 90s, boys." Or, "Welcome to the 90s, Chucky." And it does feel like a 90s horror movie.
Nice. We'll have to watch those with the
super
family.
fun. And then after this, I think is when it goes into like the goofy stuff.
No, I think that's
Bride
when
of
it all
Chucky
falls off.
is
Yeah.
next. So I'm expecting a
If you
quality
bring in Jennifer
drop
Tilly,
off.
it all goes to shit.
That's true with all franchises.
Yeah.
John, I think you've talked about this in the past, but Sweetheart.
Yeah, I really liked that movie.
I really liked it too.
I really thought that movie was solid.
Yeah.
For a creature feature, I thought it was very, very on point.
Really simple, like again, just like kind of fixed location.
Super great foreshadowing in it. Once things pop off, it goes exactly at the pace you'd want it to. The character is like actually just fucking
very
taking
competent.
this thing out,
in a realistic way.
Yeah, exactly. I really, really enjoyed that one myself. I actually want to watch that one again because I've thought about it ever since I watched it the first time.
I liked it.
So
I finally got to buy and watch the new Quiet Place. I did miss it in theaters, which now I kind of regret because I really liked it. I think it's you can't really compare it to the first two because it feels like a different genre where it's like a more traditional alien invasion movie instead of like a survival movie.
Yeah, it's kind of got more of like the War of the Worlds remake to it.
Yeah.
Which I really liked as just the idea of using pre-existing rules of a world so you don't have to necessarily explain them all. I mean, they do still to a certain extent.
Right.
But like,
well, it also it has to track better to me because like I've talked about it before. Those movies frustrate me on a couple different levels. I love the idea of the aliens. I love what they are, but like the first two movies, I feel like created rules and then shit on them, and I don't think that there's space for that to happen in that iteration, because all the characters, you're not coming into a scene where everybody knows what this is.
Yeah.
It's people figuring it out, so I would imagine it would lend better to how the creatures work and what they are.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine that I would be that nitpicky about that, because it's all new to the characters. They don't know what the fuck's going on exactly, so.
The thing I remember most about the day one was that John and I were talking about like what it could be beforehand, and he was talking about how like the cat is just gonna get people killed.
Yeah.
Or a cat would just get you killed. And it's just like I went into it thinking about him saying that, and it's just like the cat couldn't get anybody killed because everybody was so good at getting themselves.
Yeah. Because
they didn't have time to get anyone else killed. Like it's just like people are just like trying to like quietly walk, and then they step on like a fucking tin can. You know?
Like as careful and quiet as you're being, you're not watching where your feet are going.
Yeah. I do want to watch that one. I like the second one. I respect the first one. Second one really pissed me off, but I do want to watch that one. I do want to give that one a shot.
I liked it. Lupita, it's like, damn, I can't remember the last time I got to see her in a movie, and she is just a fantastic actor. I guess Black Panther was the last movie. 2, the sequel.
Right.
But yeah, Quiet Place. I recommend it. Quiet Place. And I'd say it's definitely a better movie than the second one, but then like comparing it to the first one, it feels almost like different genres of sci-fi.
I still think the first one's like by far my favorite.
I think the first one's probably the most solid, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have anything to say about the filmmaking of the first one. I just had I had prop beef.
Yeah. Continuing with trying to watch all the John Carpenter movies this year, I watched Vampires.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How was that one?
It's not
it's
good.
bad.
That movie is not good.
I thought so.
I
saw when it came out, and I know for a fact it could not have gotten better.
It's so sad how like he had so many great movies.
Yeah, and it's like
he just made so much.
As soon as he and what's his name?
James Woods is
Kurt Russell split up. I don't know if they have beef or anything, or if they just stopped working together. But like as soon as, because like all these movies, like They Live and this movie, it feels like he's writing a Kurt Russell character, and then he's asking James Woods to play it. Like
also James Wood does not make any sense in that fucking role whatsoever.
No, he's playing like the badass leader of vampire slaying team.
So I don't
think James Woods was the problem though. It's been a while since I've seen it.
No,
I mean I've seen Diggstown. I know James Woods can get there. The problem was that everything else with the movie. It was
just trash. Diggstown showed me that James Wood can be a badass of a kind.
Yeah.
But not necessarily
not a tough guy badass.
A tough guy badass is a little bit of a stretch, but no, it was just shit. And it's like I said, I rewatched the Escape from New York, Escape from LA, and like those movies are essentially the same movie, and one is solid John Carpenter filming, and the other is the same movie, but a giant pile of shit.
Yeah.
So like, he just he just made some shit, man. I don't know what it was exactly, but I still stand by They Live as a movie, even though Roddy Piper is Roddy fucking Piper.
No, I like They Live. Great. I just really wish it was Kurt Russell.
No, it would have been so much better if it was Kurt Russell. Absolutely. That's not even a question. That movie would be fucking amazing if Kurt Russell was But
I thought this movie was pretty the plot and everything was pretty generic, and then the cast as a whole I thought was pretty bad. Daniel Baldwin was like cringy.
Ugh.
He was playing his character like
he's the worst of the Baldwins.
Scene to scene was
he's even worse than Billy
Baldwin,
and Billy Baldwin's really bad.
His character especially was terrible. But no, I only watch it if you want to watch all of John Carpenter's
just to be
movies.
Alec, and then Steven round out my Baldwin power rankings.
What's the fourth one?
That was it. We got
Alec,
Steven, Billy.
There's too many.
Yeah, and Daniel. Yeah.
Keep it in your pants, Baldwin.
Which I think the order is Alec, Steven, Billy, Daniel. Or maybe you can flip Billy and Daniel.
But none of them are
Fuck
really
Billy and Daniel.
that good.
No, none of they're like baseline.
They're all character actors, but what is crazy is that I don't think any of them are the same character. Like Alec Baldwin.
As they're getting older, they're all kind of fusing into one.
If you've ever seen any episodes of 30 Rock,
shit going on soon.
If you've ever seen any episodes of 30 Rock,
I love 30 Rock.
30 Rock was custom made for Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Like Alec Baldwin was made to play the dude in 30 Rock.
He should have retired after 30 Rock.
He should have. He was fucking brilliant. And he was so funny without trying to be funny.
Yeah. But also very self-effacing. There's a really funny line in like the last season when he's like, just go to TV. When you think your career's over, just go to TV.
Okay, here we go. Frozen, the 2010 horror movie, Frozen, not Disney's Frozen.
Wait. Is this the one with the people who are in like the ski lift?
Yeah.
I've seen this.
It was so like
were they stuck on a ski lift?
Yeah, they were stuck on a ski lift, and somebody tries to jump, and they like fucking break
I remember
their
that
leg.
movie.
That scene is pretty horrible, like terrifying.
Yeah,
I can't remember how I
scream.
felt about that movie, but I'm pretty sure it pissed me off a good amount.
Well, so I'd seen this trailer like probably hundreds of times back in the day because it was like
it's from one of those
2010,
studios
like
too
peak
that just
DVD Blu-ray
shits
time.
out movies like this.
it's like a cheap, not even Lionsgate movie. And so like I'd always been kind of curious about it because like was it decent? And like honestly, I watched it, and as far as like the horror parts, the fear-inducing parts, I thought they actually did pretty well.
Yeah, no, I don't think they did that wrong. I think my beef was just the amount of stupidity.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what pissed me off is just the classic horror stupid shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think that this one can be like any stupidity can be forgiven because there was a freezing element. And like hyperthermia, like cause you to do fucking stupid shit. Like
when you do have a timeline on a thing, it does dial up the anxiety and does change people's responses and reactions. So that's fair.
No, there are a couple scenes though, like one of them, she wakes up from sleeping and her bare hand is holding the metal railing. Like,
that's what
the fuck were you thinking?
That's what I'm talking about.
Put
right
the
there.
fucking hand in your jacket before you go to sleep, you moron.
No, that right there, that's the shit.
Yeah.
One too many of those and I'm out of a movie.
Yeah.
You know?
But no, the stuff like jumping off the ski lift and stuff, like they present it in such a way that's like, I mean, what else are you going to do besides sit there and freeze to death?
I mean, I think I remember that scene and I think I was like, tuck and roll. But they were just
he like goes straight to his feet and it's like
I believe that is something that like would happen though. Like, you know,
for most people it would happen. I'll give them that one.
No, I was thinking about it. Like I actually don't know what's the best way falling from a ski lift. What's the safest way to try and land?
Well, I mean, you just try to
back.
As soon as you're about there, you just
you
just go fucking limp.
Like,
you at least go limp, if not tuck and roll. Which tucking and rolling is harder with skis, but you can go limp. But I remember the scene, and it was just like, jump. It's like you've never seen a movie ever.
Yeah.
Because you know what happens?
That scene was.
There's like honestly, you drop from that height. There's nothing to save you. I mean, like
no, the best you can do is go limp. I'm just saying, like, it was frustrating.
You're still gonna break a bunch of shit, you know.
I
mean, ideally, he really just needed to survive, like be in enough, like good enough shape that he could then go down the mountain and get help.
But he got immediately eaten by wolves, right?
They
were just like sitting there waiting, and like he was all split open, so it was like a buffet.
And they have to like listen to him scream to death as he's being.
No,
that scene honestly is pretty well done.
No, the horror elements in it are fine. It's just it has enough of the stupid shit.
It was memorable enough for me that I think that I probably kind of dug it for what it was.
It was better than I was expecting, honestly.
And I know that like it's from one of those like production companies that just shits out like 1 million of those a year or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of a rare thing that I've actually seen that movie, I think.
Yeah.
No, I would actually. It is surprising you've seen that movie.
Well, because it's just like an odd enough premise that you're like, well, okay, how are you going to turn this into a 90-minute movie?
Yeah. Oh, that's I definitely started that at 2:00 in the morning. And I finished it.
That's the same thing I felt about the Nowhere movie and did get payoff. But I do remember elements of that movie being good. But I'm definitely, for me, when there's not a supernatural element to horror and it's just people, I'm pretty unforgiving on a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it should just be. I mean, there is a reality to it because people are fucking stupid. So when people do fucking stupid shit, like it's not like it's unrealistic because a lot of people are fucking stupid. So
Yeah, I mean they're like
that's fair enough. And then put a stupid person in a bad situation, they're going to do even more stupid shit. So it's not that it doesn't track. It's just it's frustrating to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
And so for me, I want like there to be something going on in the movie that's really gripping to offset the stupidity. But when it's like a vacuum of an situation like that, where there's not anything that's like that gripping other than the ticking clock of freezing to death.
Yeah.
I'm still not super forgiving, but that's just me.
I thought they did pretty well, like conveying the relatability of like the complete hopelessness of like when they're like, well, it's okay, we just got to make it through the night, and they're like, it's Sunday night, they'll be gone for a week. You're like, okay, well that is terrifying.
You will die probably.
Yeah.
No, I mean the reality of the movie and the setting is definitely like, I mean freezing to death is fucking real for sure.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
I do remember it not being bad. I just
it's not.
my
gripey
shit about movies like that is all I have to say.
I watched the Craft Legacy, which is technically a sequel to the original Craft from the 90s.
Yeah.
It was pretty bland.
Yeah, I would assume as much.
They
I don't
had
really
some
remember the Craft very well either.
They really present the witchcraft in this stuff as like a girl power, like fight the patriarchy type stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fine in the right context, but they literally like use a love potion on one of the characters, and then they kind of hammer it in later that like manipulation and consent, like, it's like you literally brainwashed him to do what you wanted.
Yeah.
And then it kind of
rapey here.
It literally comes across the message as like, well, it's okay when girls do it.
And that's what happens with that kind of subject matter a lot. I'm not a huge fan of it.
I was like, it had big, like, I don't know, post 2016 feminism to me, where it's like, it really felt like, no, it's not cool when a man's a dictator, but when a girl's a dictator.
Well, yeah. and I do, like, that is a particular thing that does really, really piss me off, because it's like, it's not healthy. Like, oh, well, you did it to us, and now we're going to do it to you.
Yeah.
You get a free pass. Like, that's not getting us anywhere.
No, it's disappointing, because I really love...
talking about Barbie again?
I'm not talking about Barbie again. I'm making a concerted effort not to.
I really love the original Craft, so it was disappointing.
I remember it being solid. It's been a long time.
I honestly didn't know that there was a sequel.
Yeah. And it's the kind where it's not like necessarily a direct sequel, because there's no characters in common.
Somebody picked it up later.
But there is a connection to the original.
It's got the word in it.
Yeah.
They use the word Craft.
They use the same town.
It's almost closer to a remake than a sequel, except for like one scene that ties it in with the original.
Lazy.
I watched Rebel Ridge, which I've talked to you guys about.
Yes, which is a fucking awesome movie.
I loved it. I was like,
it was great.
Hooked. So this is from the director, friend of the podcast, the director of Green Room and Murder Party.
That was the director? Motherfucker. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. He also directed Hold the Dark, which I have not seen, and Blue Ruin, which I have seen.
Yeah.
And he's got such a grounded, kind of realistic kind of action vibe to his movies.
No, for sure. It's basically a revenge against cops thing.
Yeah.
But the dude is like, it's just the best that it could be, because the protagonist is just like, he's like a Marine jiu-jitsu instructor.
Yeah.
And he just is super grounded the entire time. And he punks the fuck out of these cops, but he doesn't kill any of them. And you think the entire time, he's just going to fucking start killing motherfuckers. And like, no, he just punks them out like bitches.
It's like
the entire
Rambo,
movie.
Except the main character is more justified in what he's doing.
Yes. Yeah.
The villains are less justified in what they're doing. And he never kills anybody.
Nobody. And even at I don't want to spoil the ending, but there's like, the ending is like the best resolution for everybody possible.
Yeah.
Everyone in town, every character, the resolution is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
It was
a super satisfying movie. And like at some point in the movie, I am like, okay,
I'm sorry, if some of these cops don't die, I don't know if I could be satisfied. But no, like by the end of the movie, I'm fully happy with it.
Yeah, it's the dude basically trying to he's trying to bring bail to his cousin.
Name of the film one more time.
Rebel Ridge.
It's a Netflix movie.
Yeah, he's trying to bring bail to his cousin who's going into prison because he knows if his cousin gets into prison, he's going to get murdered. So he liquidated all of his assets, has a bunch of cash. Cops unjustly take his cash, which cops can and do a lot. Not a foreign thing, not a fictitious thing. This happens a lot if you really want to look at it.
Yeah.
And then he just goes,
it's a very believable situation. Unfortunately,
it's super believable. And again, he handles these motherfuckers in the best way possible. He's a gangster the entire time. This motherfucker is going nonstop, and he doesn't kill anybody. He's the most badass motherfucker. One of the most badass motherfuckers you could see.
I loved it. This is like if they did like a realistic Rambo remake. I think this is
one of the coolest scenes is the shithead sheriff is fucking Don Johnson. Playing another shithead white guy.
Piece of
shit. He just is so good at doing. But at one point, Don Johnson he offers a deal to Don Johnson. Don Johnson's like, okay, yeah, you can be here to see your cousin here at 9 a.m. And then he gets there. This guy rides a bicycle everywhere. And he gets there, and Don Johnson, of course, is like, yeah, well, I changed the time, so tough shit. So then this motherfucker's bicycling through woods to catch the bus that he just missed, finds his cousin in there, has a little conversation, and then his cousin tries to fist bump him out the window, but the bus starts pulling away, so this motherfucker just bicycles his ass off to go to the front of the fucking bus. Basically tell the driver to go fuck himself and then fist bumps the dude on the way back. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
That's gangster shit right there. It was so satisfying.
It's a satisfying movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I really liked it. Give it a watch. It's a bit long, but it never felt pick up the pace here.
No, for sure. You're just in it the whole time. It's a very well-paced movie.
And Dakota Fanning is in it. I don't remember the last movie I saw her in, but she is very delightful.
I know that the movie got better in my mind when you went from Dakota Johnson to
Dakota Fanning. I love Dakota Johnson, but
really?
She's great. You haven't watched her enough stuff.
I guess I haven't seen her in anything good.
I'll give you some recommendations. Have you seen Bad Times at the El Royale?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't like her in that?
I thought the movie was kind of not good.
Oh, okay. Have you seen the new Suspiria?
I have not seen the new one.
Yeah, she's really good in that. No, I really like Dakota Johnson, but Dakota Fanning, what was the last thing she was in even? I don't know. But it was a really kind of pleasant surprise to see her back. Kind of grew up with.
I don't think I've seen her since I Am Sam.
I Am Sam. You haven't seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or. No, you probably wouldn't have watched most of these.
I saw that.
You haven't seen Because of Winn-Dixie?
No, I saw I Am Sam though, and that's really good. It's a good movie. Check it out.
Okay.
Sean Penn.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that.
Sean Penn plays a retard. It's a good movie.
Rebel Ridge, highly recommend. It's a brand new movie too. It's only been on Netflix for 2 or 3 weeks.
Offer one to you until they were a little bit shittier.
Again with the horror movies, I'm trying because I started back up on Chucky.
Right.
I was wanting to get back into some of these other franchises, try and slowly work my way through. And so on Friday the 13th, I had to continue that franchise and was reminded that series just sucks. They're just stupid and bland and
no, there's
so
nothing
boring
to them. Yeah, I know, dude.
It's just people hang out at a camp until they get murdered. The end.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why I was so pissed about that In a Violent Nature movie because this movie's so different. No, it's just that movie.
Yeah,
it's just that movie.
Not interesting.
No, it's not a good premise.
And I was just
inexplicably zombie-powered guy that doesn't make any sense to begin with. And they never really rationalized.
Right after watching Child's Play 3, and I was like, well, maybe I've been too harsh on these slasher franchises. Let's go. And then, no, some of them are just bad.
Yeah, no, for sure. Some of them are just bad.
I got to go see. They re-released Coraline in theaters. I don't know if either of you've seen
Yeah. It's good.
In 3D and fully remastered or whatever.
but like the new 3D, because when it originally came out, it was 2009. It was like literally the blue and red glasses 3D. Right. But this is really, because it's the 15th anniversary. Fantastic.
It would be a good time
obviously
there.
aged. Actually, I think that's also Dakota Fanning. Yeah, it is. Very fun. Yeah, I mean, have you seen? You probably haven't seen stop motion animation. Leica, though, you've seen. What's the Kubo? Kubo and the Two Strings? No?
Kubo, no.
I thought you'd seen one of the Leica stop motion animation movies.
Kubo is fucking.
Wait, I think
that movie.
Is that the one about the Hispanic kid?
No,
I've seen the one with the
That's
day.
Coco.
Coco. I've seen
Coco.
That's
just
I love
animated,
Coco. I think
animated.
Coco's shit.
Well, that's Pixar, so hot take from Dustin.
Yeah.
Pixar's great.
No, Kubo and the Two Strings. I actually think
it
you
is.
would appreciate, because it's
I might have
really
seen it.
fucking.
It's possible I've seen it.
It might not be for you, but Coraline's a great movie. It was really cool to see. I'd never seen it in theater, so that was really cool.
No, that'd be a good experience.
There was one of the five movies that was nominated for Best Animated Feature called Robot Dreams, and I was not able to see it this past Oscars. And because for whatever reason, even though it was in the Oscars, it just was impossible to watch. And then they finally released it digitally, so I bought it on Vudu and watched Robot Dreams. And it's like, it's not, I wouldn't call it a silent film, but there's really no dialogue. It's just a really lovely, unique animated movie. Not exactly like a kid's movie, but nothing in it that's like adult either. But just a lovely movie, Robot Dreams.
Nice.
And then I watched The Slumber Party Massacre.
Woo!
Which was hilarious and fun. It's very like tongue-in-cheek horror movie, but talk about a lot of tits. There might be boobs in about every other scene of this movie.
Yeah. I mean, sounds like there would be.
Yeah. And it's directed by a woman.
I still think that like boob per second, I think the most boobalicious movie I've ever seen is Onibaba.
Probably, yeah. Because like there's not a lot of other movies that are like just tits out.
Yeah,
normal
it's just
conversation.
like there are only three actors. Two of them are women, and they are never covered. So like it's just tits out the entire movie.
There's an old '60s Japanese
Onibaba is also
film franchise that's about women in prison. The main, like, I can't remember the name.
There's a name for that genre, that prison exploitation.
Yeah, it's like a Japanese prison exploitation. I didn't watch a whole film, but it's pretty much just fucking tits out the entire time. You know.
You just stop seeing the boobs at some point.
Onibaba was a captivating film. Like, I really enjoyed it, man. It's
Japanese people are good at making captivating things.
It's funny because it's basically about human Black Widows.
Yeah,
is what it is, and it's really cool the way it's done.
Yeah, it's the kind of movie where I didn't know exactly what I thought about the movie when it was over, but I definitely knew I enjoyed watching it. Like it was a very interesting watch. Yeah,
and the quality of film that they made in the era that it was made. Was like, you know, and like part of that's just Japanese filmmaking. Like their '60s movies are just kind of better than ours. From what I've seen.
Yeah, '60s weren't a great time for us.
Yeah.
I watched the Leprechaun Origins, which is the newer like reboot of the franchise.
How was that?
It was terrible.
I would imagine.
I'm curious to know how a Leprechaun originated. Did you learn that in the film?
No, not really. Well,
what a fucking fail.
So like it's not even, except for they call the monster a leprechaun and it takes place in Ireland. It really has nothing in common with the other movies. Like it's not even
it doesn't need to. What it needs to do is explain how the leprechaun originated.
Yeah.
It's like a creature. It's not
maybe it's
like
more accurate lore wise.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know that much about Irish lore.
I have no idea what like original lore of a leprechaun is. But then
I know there's a pot of gold involved.
This is the 2014 movie, and then there was another one, a newer one that I think was actually has like.
When was the
Little
last
Green
time
Man,
that you
Leprechaun
watched
in
the
it.
original?
I see. I just a couple years ago watched all of them because they're fun. They're so fucking fun.
The first one is pretty
Warwick
fun.
Davis is
Yeah,
hilarious.
the first
in
one
them.
is pretty solid. I
Dude, Warwick
remember.
Davis, like, what a filmography.
I love
Look at
him.
his filmography. He's been like a troll, a hobbit, fucking
Ewok.
dwarves, Ewoks. Like, what a career.
Yeah.
And a leprechaun.
John, if you haven't seen this, Dead End Drive-In.
Don't think so. No.
This movie is so fucking fun.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't know what I thought this movie was. This is the poster. If anyone wants to Google Dead End
Okay. I
Drive-In.
feel like I've seen that.
It just looks
poster
like the new
before.
Crow movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it has a guy on it who has like crow makeup and he's smiling over a drive-in movie theater
It
sign.
looks like an Avatar concert.
I will say, after watching this movie, I don't know who is on the cover. There's nobody in the movie that I remember that
Nice.
has this makeup.
Yeah.
So I don't know who that is. So that's like, it's like almost like a prequel, or it could take place like at the same time as the first Mad Max movie, and it is an Australian movie and like very dystopian
Interesting.
and like super overt like
yeah.
political metaphors and stuff
Yeah, yeah.
in a very interesting, fun way.
Dead End Drive-In.
Dead End
Yeah,
Drive-In.
I want to watch that one.
I own it on Vudu. Let me see where it is streaming for you guys, because it's probably available.
It might be.
Dead End.
I like it when we have the dead air in the podcast where Reese has an idea and then we all pause while he looks it up. It's like literally that's what radio is all about.
Hey,
It's
yeah.
just like somebody like just dead silence
It
while
gives them
somebody
time
looks
to
something
scribble the
up.
notes of the movie.
We should have a person that does this for us. That's just
Okay.
over there with a computer and like
Matt.
they're just fact checking everything we say and making us look like dumbasses.
It looks like it's free on Plex and Hoopla, but it's not currently
Hoopla.
streaming.
What the fuck
anywhere.
is Hoopla?
It's another one of the.
Just
Oh
another
no! I
Sounds
think
made
pop
up.
up.
I think actually Hoopla.
I feel like there's a bunch of those that keep popping up that just are reminiscent of like fireworks fucking tents on the side of the road.
Yeah.
You know, like
I think
check
Hoopla
out
is
Hoopla
the
now.
one that it's free if you have a library. Like you get it through your local library,
oh,
and then you can like check out movies, and,
Oh,
and it's free. But you just like
that's-
literally go to our
Okay.
local library.
So
and
I
they
used to
can
do
sign
that.
up for
respect
this.
I used to do that
Yeah.
at my library. I used to like rent DVDs from my library.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it
but
was
this is like a streaming service.
you know what's crazy is like
That's cool.
they got the
Yeah.
same
That's
shit that
actually-
all the
that's
all the
actually
video
cool.
stores did.
Yeah,
like,
I growing up, I didn't really understand why people went to Blockbuster, because like if you waited like a week or two after
hey,
release,
they came to see me treat them like shit. That's what they came for.
like you could get brand like movies that were like less than a week or a month old at the library
Yeah.
for free,
Yeah.
and then you had it for a week. Like I never really understood why people
Yeah.
would go and pay like $5 for a movie.
They
But,
paid for an experience.
The culture.
Right, made
Yeah,
fun of
pretty
their
much.
selections and told them why they were dog shit.
But yeah, Dead End Drive-In. It's a really weird movie to describe. I don't like. Okay, so basically, it's very Mad Max setting, like I said, but much more like punk and goofy, kind of in a way.
right.
And the main character
So
goes.
like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah, well, kind of. Not that kind of goofy, but I mean, you'll see what I mean. When the main character goes to a drive-in movie theater, and then during the movie, there's cops like patrolling the drive-in, and they steal his tires, and then he gets
do?
He's not the cop, like they're corrupt cops. It's
Okay.
Yeah, they steal his tires.
it's-
God damn.
I think it's
That takes
basically
some effort.
very very much related to Australian politics in the 80s.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like very interesting and overt like anti-racist messages in the movie. There's like characters with like swastikas,
Right.
and like at one point they like the government starts just trucking in a bunch of immigrants to store it, because this drive-in kind of turns into a prison, interestingly.
Yeah.
And then all of the inmates start getting pissed off that there's now like Asians coming in.
Right, right.
Like, oh, we need to get rid of these Asians. And
Yeah.
then the main character is
It's
like,
like modern day America.
Yeah.
guys, maybe we should be mad at the people who are forcing us to stay here and not the
Yeah.
people that they are forcing
Yeah.
to stay here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a really, really fun movie. I highly recommend it.
And then last night I watched Spring from 2014 for the first time.
I think I saw that one.
It's almost like a romance horror movie. I would go into it, if you want to watch it, pretty blind. Very fun, very interesting, unique movie, but I don't want to spoil anything.
Right on.
But 2014, Spring, very low budget indie movie, so you have to kind of look past some
I like the idea.
terrible lighting. But
That's some of my favorite shit. You know, I think about like Nosferatu, Dracula, Frankenstein. All those films were just like The Mummy. Those are all just like
King
the
Kong.
horror films of the time, but really they were just love stories at the heart of them.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, the moral of the story is like no matter the species or like person type,
Right.
they all want to fuck white women.
That's true.
I mean,
even 20-foot tall apes.
yeah,
It's like goddamn human women are hot.
yeah. Just can't deny it, dude. Can't deny it. All right.
All right, so on to the features. And there are
Zippy
two
Jizz.
of them. It's a
Zippy
double
Jills.
feature.
Hell yes.
Which has pretty much been the going rate for a while now.
It
Yeah,
has been.
It's okay.
It's
fine.
you know what? I chalk it up to the fact that you know, like a good length movie is 2 hours. Like that's kind of the norm. And like
Right.
when we get together to do this, we have more than 2 hours. So it's
Yeah.
good. It's good indeed.
No,
I will
it
say,
checks out.
whatever my pick following October is, because I'm probably going to continue to pick horror movies through
Right.
October. But whatever my pick after October is, will definitely be Once Upon a Time in New York. So that will not be a double feature.
Once Upon a Time in America.
In America, yes.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in America.
Yeah, that's a long ass movie.
Yeah.
Damn. Anyway, so I chose American Movie, which is my favorite documentary, and Best in Show, which is my favorite mockumentary. And this pick was really about the first film, American Movie. That's the one that I most was interested in watching, and then I just kind of chose Best in Show because I thought it'd be a fun way to close out the
Yeah, I know it
mo-
was.
movie
it worked
watching
well for that.
evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, American Movie. It's directed by Chris Smith.
Oh, do you want the letterbox?
Oh yeah, let's do the
Yeah.
letterbox.
1999, directed by Chris Smith. American Movie is the story of filmmaker Mark
Borchardt.
his mission and his dream spanning over 2 years. It was more than 2 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was shot over 2 years.
Oh. Over 2 years of intense struggle with his film, his family, financial decline, and spiritual crisis. American Movie is a portrayal of ambition, obsession, excess, and one man's quest for the American dream.
So yeah, directed by Chris
No
Smith.
tagline.
Yeah. It doesn't need one.
Yeah. That'd be kind of weird for a documentary.
For a
Tagline is a
documentary.
picture of Mike. That's
Oh, what was the one line he said? Cathartic. What's cathartic? It's like leaving your body. Yeah, it's cathartic.
yeah. Oh, that guy.
So Chris Smith met Mark Borchardt at he was attending the University of Wisconsin Milwaukee. They have a graduate film program, and he met him in 1995 while he was editing his first debut feature, American Job, I guess is the name of the film. I've never seen it. And he met Mark somehow through going to this film school, and knew quite shortly, I guess, that this was going to be the subject of his second documentary feature.
Wow.
And so we start this story of this man who's in his 30s, and he's from Menominee, Wisconsin.
Menominee.
Yeah. And his dream is to make the great American movie, and that's what we get to see unfold over just shy of 2 hours. The film kind of starts with him. The whole concept is he's going to make his first ever feature called Northwestern, but then quickly takes a turn to where first, he's not ready for Northwestern. He first must finish this short that he started like 10 years previously called Coven.
Coven. Spelled
Specifically.
Coven.
Yeah, not Coven.
Yeah.
It's very specific.
Coven.
And that's where the action starts. So, guys,
Which I feel
Yes.
like we maybe should have had Coven be the double feature because I believe that you can find it online.
yeah, so I actually did, and I didn't have a chance to watch it, but maybe.
Yeah, no, after watching this, I was like, I have to see this.
Yeah,
movie.
I'm gonna watch
I
it
have
for
to
this
see
So
month
a
because
little
it's
background.
a spooky movie.
American Movie premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in 1999, and the showing was immediately followed by Coven.
Nice.
Cool.
That would
So-
have been fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I actually read an article by Roger Ebert doing his review of the film, and he said he got to meet Mark Borchardt and the whole thing, and he's like just fell in love with the entire concept and
Yeah.
story, and like
Nice.
what a dude! Like,
Yeah.
he's just got an aura about him, you know.
Yeah.
Like, he
No,
just-
for sure. That it makes it like it makes sense. Like that this guy met this guy somehow, and he's like, you know what? Because like the guy has fucking energy. He's got something that
He definitely
can
has a
draw
vision
you.
too.
He's like, so I have mixed feelings because this guy reminds me of like a couple of my brothers. Like, I mean, like just like
Right.
kind of just like white trash, like just like Midwest, like fucking leeches, basically.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's definitely got
The
kind
one
of
line towards the end when he's kind of getting real scummy and he's like, "Oh, I won $100 at the lottery. What should I spend it on?" He's like, "Oh, beer."
Yeah.
He's like, "I don't want to spend money on beer." He's like, "Well, neither do I, but if you buy it, I'm gonna drink
Yeah.
it." Like, okay,
Yeah.
dude.
No, for sure. No,
Try not to be so obvious.
my favorite as far as there's a scene where like he's going through his mail and he's just like Bill, past due. Oh fuck yeah, MasterCard!
Yeah.
I just got a MasterCard.
Man, sometimes things just, they just go right. Jesus, man. Calm down.
Oh, God.
It's
No,
just funny because when I go through mail, it's like the same thing. It's just like Bill, MasterCard that I'm gonna put through my shredder.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
then this dude's just like, oh fuck, MasterCard.
And that's how they get you. No, he is definitely like, he's a character. He's definitely like the fucking Midwest trailer park guy, but there is like, he has an amount of intention. He has at least a little bit of vision. And like, he does seem like one of those just fucking generic kind of shithead
There's
people like that, but there's something to him, He has at least a
there is
goal.
something to him. There's actually a line like mid film where you kind of meet his girlfriend, and she has the line. She says that if Mark in his lifetime accomplishes even 25% of what he talks about, he will accomplish more than what most people do in their lifetimes.
Yeah.
And I really do think it's weird because like these people are kind of like, in a way, just like disgusting people and like some of the things they do, but like
Yeah.
like it is kind of inspirational in a way. The
No,
film is
it
very
is.
much
Like,
inspirational.
I can definitely like, for me, I saw where the guy was coming from. Like, he's a guy that wanted to do something but could just never get there on the something, and just like commits to like, God damn it, I'm doing something. And he tries really hard to make it work. Like, he really, really does. And
And he knows his shit.
yeah, no, he actually,
that's
I
the
was,
thing.
and he actually got his fucking goddamn goon squad to like put in work too.
Yeah, like that. Well, you
seeing
can
those
tell.
guys
You
put
can
in
tell
work.
he's like
yeah.
convincing because he's getting the people to do this shit that's crazy and like dangerous sometimes.
Yeah. No, he definitely knows film. He definitely like has a vision. Like, I don't know. It's
Honestly, his film knowledge is even more impressive too because it's
Yeah.
pre-internet. So like,
Yeah.
you have to devote yourself to know that shit.
Mhm, for sure. No, it was for me, it was a special thing because I've, as a fucking small business owner that's pretty much just been hustling my ass off for fucking 15 years nonstop. Like, I can get where this dude's coming from. Like, I mean, this guy, like, he's not successful at all. So like, I'm at least more than that, but I can appreciate where he's coming from, and I can appreciate his moxie of just like, God damn it, I'm doing something. There's something very inspirational about what he's trying to do. And there's something inspirational in the fact too that his immediate friends and family, even though they're a bunch of goons, we're like there, you know, and we're just down to be there and make this thing happen just because.
Yeah.
Which includes his best friend Mike.
Oh yeah, God damn this
Mike
guy.
Mike is kind of like a very important
I
part
just
of it.
envision like Andy Warhol, like fucking Obey style art with Mike, you know, like fucking 4 panels of Mike in different color.
One of the best laughs in the movie, and you will laugh when you watch this film.
You'll laugh when you see this motherfucker.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was gonna say. One of the best laughs is just the first time they show Mike.
Yeah.
Like they just show him, and you immediately start laughing.
Before he
just-
can even speak, you're laughing because just the look on this motherfucker's
Literally
face,
just
man.
a character lifted like directly out of Napoleon Dynamite or something.
Yeah,
like,
dude, for sure.
So fucking
for
funny.
sure.
It's like the stoner version of Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
It's like acid burnout.
Such an
over here.
easygoing, happy
Who
guy.
will tell you drugs are bad? And it's just like, guy,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You seem to
I'm
be
good.
on a lot of drugs.
I'm done with drugs. 3 months later.
he tells
So
us-
anyway, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tells a story about how him and Mark met. And he's just like, well, yeah, I used to just go to hang out in this place, and I was always drinking vodka. Nobody would drink vodka with me. And then I met Mark, and he would drink vodka with me. So then we were drinking vodka together.
we drank a lot of vodka. And I love that too, like in the closing of the movie, like it's just filmed from the goons filming themselves when they were young.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you see this dude fucking playing guitar, chugging vodka at the same time. I think somebody was holding bottle for him or something
Yeah.
in the back of the truck, you know?
But also seemed like just a legitimately really like skilled guitar player.
No,
like, I think
yeah,
all
Mike-
the songs in the soundtrack is him.
Yeah. No, he's a legitimate musician. for
Yeah.
sure.
And just it's such a comparison to the main character
Mhm.
who's like, I need to do this. I need to
Yeah.
succeed.
And
I'm
Mike's just like yeah. I'm just hanging
Mike
out.
looks like the biggest burnout ever. He's so fun.
You know, all the characters were fun. His mom was kind of fun to see those interactions too.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
so
Super-
supportive, honestly.
But also don't believe in him at the same time.
Yeah. No, his family was kind of sad because all of his family was just
Yeah.
like, yeah. Like his mom had his back, but she was like, yeah, he probably won't get there. The rest of his family were like, he's a dick. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, his dad was like,
Yeah.
he should do something else. But then, like, in the end, he's talking about, like, I was talking about, like, man, I think I just want to quit. And dad was like, no, you can't quit.
Yeah.
You can't quit, you know?
Same with Uncle Bill. He was
Yeah.
like so
Oh my gosh.
did not believe anything. And then he was like first in line to see the movie.
Yeah.
So, Uncle Bill is, like, the character that really... He's the dynamic this film really
Yeah.
needs.
Well, yeah.
So Uncle Bill is described by Mark's father is the brother that like was always a tight ass with his money, except for when it came to Mark. Mark always had a way of being able to pry him from his wallet, as they say. And we get an introduction to this where you see Mark approaching Bill with a pamphlet. Basically, he's got like a collection of photos and profiles, and he throws it. And he's like, "What's this?" And it's a bunch of half-naked chicks, and he's just like, "That chick wants to be in your movie, Bill." And he's just like, "Oh my gosh!"
Oh my gosh.
It is. It's totally an oh my gosh. I just love it because it's just like he knows how to approach this old man. Just like throw some like fucking sexy chicks, like young chicks in front of him and be like, they want to be in your movie.
Yeah. No, him using Uncle Bill is definitely like one of the dirtbaggiest moments in the movie because they just take his old ass to the bank and are basically just, oh no, it's okay. You just signed
I
this.
don't give a shit. That's the kind of like he doesn't seem like he feels like he legitimately loves Uncle Bill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uncle Bill's just sitting there and he's not doing anything with that money.
He's like there's a scene where he's actually just like washing him.
Yeah,
in the
he's
tub,
taking
you
care
know?
of him.
No, that's what I was about to say is that like you get that scene
Yeah.
early when you see Uncle Bill is when he takes him to the bank to get him to finance the loan for the movie,
Yeah.
and like that's a dirtbag moment. But the more you see it evolve, he does give a fuck about Uncle Bill for sure, and you get the payoff at the end of it. You know, like he does follow through. Like
Where
that's
they're
one
like
of the-
kind of the only like
Uncle Bill's the only person there with him at some point. Like,
Yeah.
it's just him and Uncle Bill.
Yeah, for sure. And he does give him his return on his money. Like
Yeah.
it happens by the end of the film, and like so it is like a really heartwarming.
Uncle
thing
Bill
just
does
like that.
appear in Coven.
Yeah.
Which
what did he say?
How do I not remember that one?
Yeah,
it's
we
all
heard
right.
so.
It's okay. Something to live for.
Something to live for.
Jesus told me so.
Yeah, no, watching him rehearse just the dialogue for that line, like with his teeth falling out as a
Yeah.
man with dentures,
So-
just like
So
yeah,
that's
so
the
funny.
line. It's literally those lines, and we get like a good 6 minutes of Bill of like 30,
36,
40,
I think.
Yeah.
36 takes.
And then Uncle Bill finally is like, no, we're done.
Yeah, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, especially because at like take 18, there was a good one.
He just
You
missed
know?
one word,
Yeah.
and it's totally just changed the line. It works.
Yeah.
But no, you had to keep
Yeah.
going.
Fucking Bill.
That's part of the beauty of Mark, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that it's really complicated because like you get hooked on him so fast in like the first 10 minutes. Like, I am on your side. Let's make this movie. And then
Yeah.
it's like, by the way, Mike has 3 kids that
Yeah.
he is not
Yeah,
supporting.
for sure.
Like,
Yeah.
oh fuck,
Yeah.
man, go take care of your kids.
No, they do. Like you do get like, all right, this is like the ultimate underdog. Like this guy, look at this fucking guy's moxie. You know, like, all right, buddy, let's do it. And it's like, God, you keep watching, like, Jesus Christ, man, you're kind of a piece of shit. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And that's what kind of to me makes this. I really would like to find out where he went after that, but it's like what makes this potentially a beautiful thing is just like if it's successful, maybe he'll like really turn himself around. You know, like
Yeah.
is it the American dream? Are we watching the American dream? You know,
Yeah.
like is this finally gonna get this guy up out of this gutter and this guttery behavior and being a gutter guy? It's fun the whole way though, for sure. It's the people are
Yeah. It is.
you can't, like you said, you couldn't. Some of the shades you can't write the shit. Like,
Yeah.
people are just they're just gems, and the situation is a gem. I love the idea too that it just happened
Yeah.
to like a filmmaker meets this other guy and just like, you know what, this is worth watching.
Yeah.
Like, let's observe this.
If you want a documentary, I've got several documentaries very similar to this, but one that I really love is called Crumb.
You know,
Oh yeah, Crumb.
You seen Crumb?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the documentary
What's
Crumb.
it about?
It's about the cartoonist
Art Crumb.
Crumb.
Oh,
yeah.
dope. Yeah, I'd love to watch that.
And he is just like the most cynical, unhappy,
Yeah.
piece of shit guy going around meeting his family. His family is, of course, the weirdest
Yeah.
people you've ever met.
Right.
But it's
No, I'd
just,
love
it's
to
just
watch
like
that.
this, where you can't really look away. It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
No, I would.
And,
Yeah, that sounds fascinating because Art Crumb is pretty fascinating.
I have the Criterion
super iconic
Blu-ray
artist.
of it, but I'm sure it's streaming somewhere.
Nice.
Love that movie, and this very similar. I would say this one's happier, maybe, or more laughs.
Yeah,
Than Crumb is not as funny, maybe a little more depressing because, of course, he did have a troublesome childhood.
Right.
If you couldn't guess from his cartoons.
Speaking of laughs, we can't finish American Movie without talking about the kitchen cabinet scene.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
it's painful.
For sure.
So in this scene,
Oh,
we
shit,
get
man, I'm
documentary
sorry.
footage of a filmmaker trying to capture a struggle in a kitchen that ends with somebody's head getting put through a cabinet door. And this is not happen as easily as you have in your
No.
mind.
So the crew is
No.
not quite prepared. He's
Yeah.
like the one guy, like, yeah, I scored it right here.
Yeah.
Kind of put like 3 lines in it.
Oh,
just
it
a
looks like
cabinet
he
door.
ran
Yeah,
like
it's
a
just-
utility knife
Yeah,
over
yeah,
it.
I
Like,
think that's
oh
what
my
it was, too.
god.
Which is funny because we get like 8 or 9 takes of him trying to put this middle-aged man's head through a fucking cabinet door that
Just a
has got
solid
like a
piece of
slight
wood.
score.
Yeah.
Which I've never heard the term score in woodworking like that, but I just know in like cooking, score is like a slice like through the skin, but not actually into the meat. So it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that's not really what you want with what you're going for. But what I love about this whole scene in the documentary and as it relates to the film Coven is like every take this fucking cabinet door starts to look worse and worse.
But still not ready
No,
to
it takes like 7 or 8 before Mark is like, "Oh fuck, dude, I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Like, no.
Then they put it back under
He's like,
assault.
oh,
and cut it
Yeah.
you didn't
deeper.
score this at all.
Yeah.
But then even after that, it's like another 4 hits.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it is.
It, like,
it is.
one of them like totally smashes it,
Yeah.
but it still isn't broken. And so then like the take they actually use, it's an already like smashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like full force kicks it and finally breaks through.
Yeah.
This poor actor, man, like
The
it's
guy
like
was
legit,
like, this is a scene I really didn't want to have to reshoot because I didn't like it the first time. But you know, Mike wants to.
Yeah, and they did it. He said they did it in the first filming. Which
I love
was
it
like
after,
5
like-
years prior.
Yeah.
I just love after like 8 takes or whatever. He's like looking at the cabinet. He's like, "Oh man," he's like, "I'm sorry, I was trying to put your head through this."
Yeah. No, and that guy was cordial the entire like
He was
in all the interviews. Like he was just
drinking
Yeah,
the
he was a
Kool-Aid.
really
had
chill
nothing
guy.
bad to say
Yeah.
about any of the process. He just enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a fun ass movie, man. It's hard to describe everything. We can describe the people, but you kind of just have to watch it, and it's a gem of a time.
All right.
Good
Yeah.
little film.
Any last
Absolutely
thoughts?
loved it. I just
I want to watch Coven. Is my last thought.
yeah. I do want to watch Coven. I'm sure you said what's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
that
did
makes
look, and the
sense.
entire film is on YouTube. So maybe that'll be something we can
Squeak in.
squeak in somewhere.
Yeah, it's
I do want to point out on
only 40 minutes.
on Friday night when John Brown and I were having some porch beers. Yeah, I heard these words coming out of his mouth. He said, "American movie." He said, "is important of a film as Schindler's List," is what he told me.
Yeah,
That actually came out of his mouth.
yeah.
I wanted to write that down.
I mean,
It's on the level of just like a capturing of the human experience,
yeah,
a genuine just snapshot into what makes us what we are. Like on that level, I think it's the same. You know.
yeah. I was thinking there's probably a good chunk of comedies of the aughts of the 20s and 2000s. I mean, that probably would. I don't think Napoleon Dynamite would necessarily exist without this movie. I feel like
Right.
this movie. I'm sure there's a whole subgenre of comedies we've gotten over the past 20 years that are directly inspired by American movie.
yeah, and I like Napoleon Dynamite, and I think it's more awkward than funny.
Yeah,
I think American Movie is just a funnier movie.
Yeah,
which is crazy because it's like it's literally a documentary.
Yeah, it's just a guy capturing what comes his way and doing some interviews.
It's just like one dude like being a fucking weird human.
Yeah.
yeah.
And rallying. No,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what I'm
a-
saying.
it's a
Like
bunch
he's
of
just
weird
like
humans.
he's rallying all these weirdos around him and making this thing happen by sheer charisma. Like this guy has no money, nothing, and he's just like, yeah, let's do this. And everyone's like,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, you say it's your dream.
Let's do
that's super chill of people. If they're
Yeah.
like, hey, if I can help this guy achieve his dream, why
Really
not?
just a good example of humanity, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, kick-ass movie. Watch it.
Yeah,
That's the thoughts.
But one more thing I wanted to point out before we sign off with this film and go into the last one is at one point in the film, somebody asked him like what his like what films kind of represent his work or influence his work the most, and he said the name of 2 films. You guys remember what these are?
Texas Chainsaw.
Massacre?
No,
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead and The Seventh Seal is what he said.
Okay.
You said the Seventh Seal?
He said The Seventh
Yeah.
Seal.
Now I was gonna say I did only watch.
He mentioned Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, I
Massacre.
think
did, yeah,
he
But
might
he
have
may
mentioned
not have been in the
Chain-
top
yeah.
2, but I know he mentioned that.
I only
Mr.
watched
Seal.
Texas Chainsaw for the first time a few years ago. I was like actually pretty blown away. I thought that some of the shots in that movie feel so modern.
Yeah, no, I need to give it a full watch through. I have only watched parts of the first film.
Yeah, that movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
has
the,
aged
the, ori-
super
the
well.
original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a legit film.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've always
it's
thought.
great.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
next
right.
up.
Anyway, so Best in Show, directed by Christopher Guest, who is a career satirist. He basically only does mockumentaries.
Yeah,
And so anyway, in this film, and I think this is like the case with all of his films. There's always like it's always kind of a huge cast.
Yeah, and a lot of returning people.
Yeah,
Very-
he uses a lot of the same people.
Yeah. Here's you want the letterbox?
Yeah, go for it.
The tension is palpable, the excitement is mounting, and the heady scent of competition is in the air as hundreds of eager contestants from across America prepare to take part in what is undoubtedly one of the greatest events of their lives, the Mayflower Dog Show. The canine contestants and their owners are as wondrously diverse as the great country that has bred them. Some pets deserve a little more respect than others, is the tagline, which fits the vibe.
Yeah,
it's
that's
fine.
actually one of the better taglines I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
we've
Can
heard.
you read that one again?
Some pets deserve a little more respect than others.
That's a clean tagline.
Yeah,
you know?
that is. That actually, that's the best tagline of all time.
Yeah.
For the movies we've covered. I think.
From the year 2000, just one year after
2000.
American movie.
Right on. So, anyway, cast for this movie. Christopher Guest always has, like you said, a lot of returning actors. And in this one, we basically just have dog owners in like what is basically the equivalent of like the Westminster Dog Show,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I know because my mom used to watch, like because she's such a fucking dog lover. She would watch these dog shows, which I always thought was like snobby as hell.
Right.
And this movie just kind of caters on that concept and shows the owners of these show dogs, and that's the subject of the mockumentary. And they're mostly
The personalities
fucking
they're
Yeah.
in. Yeah,
It-
the
it-
weirdos
yeah,
that
the-
obsess
the-
over weird dogs.
The personalities fit
Yeah.
very well with
Yeah, no,
American
they do.
American movie.
Yeah, for sure.
So our core dog owners in this film are Harlan Pepper, who has the Bloodhound, which, dude, I want this fucking dog.
Yeah,
Played
dog
by
is-
Christopher Guest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
played by the director himself, Christopher Guest. Then we have Jerry and Cookie Fleck, played by
Eugene Levy
And
and
Catherine
Catherine
O'Hara.
O'Hara, who are, I believe, in just about every single one of his movies and almost always
Yes.
play a couple.
yes, and they've done a lot of. I think they've done shit together.
Oh yeah,
outside,
they
like,
played a couple in Schitt's Creek. That's like
Yeah,
6
yeah.
seasons of it. Like,
Yeah,
they've probably
So-
like the I don't know held some kind of record for
Yeah.
real couple that has played a movie couple in the most projects.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
very interesting.
They've got a shtick. They've got a product they sell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
You middle-aged
hilarious
white couple.
together.
Here we go.
Then we have Megan Hamilton Swan, played by Parker Posey and Michael Hitchcock. Oh, sorry, the Flecks. They were the Terrier family.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Swans,
Very cute round terrier.
Yeah.
The Swans is a Weimaraner. Beautiful dog. I used to have a friend that had one. It's like kind of like a smaller greyhound, basically. And theirs is funny because their Weimaraner walked in on them and some fucking
Yeah.
weird like wheelbarrow
The Congress
position.
of the Cow.
No, it's
Congress of the Cow.
it's hilarious because like with that dog, like the others, you actually get the dogs more.
Mhm.
For this triad, you get the fucking people more. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you really just see the dog like they're crazy obsessive, huge arguments over the actions of this dog. And you get the dog, and it's just like a dog sitting there like maybe whimpered once. You know, like, the dog seems so out of place. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And these people are just psychotic the entire time. And the dog is just a bystander.
Yeah. The dog ends up like attacking one of the,
Yeah.
one of the judges.
It's like,
Some
yeah,
show.
because his home life
The
is
one
so terrible.
scene where he's
watching
just
his
like
parents
holding
fight.
the dog's head, screaming at him.
Yeah.
I was almost like, "Is this okay?"
Yeah.
There was a scene with this couple. It's towards the end of the film, but like where like they lose the dog's toy, which is
Oh yeah, lose
called
their
Busy
fucking
Bee.
shit. Yeah.
And so then like she's like in a panic, like runs to the local pet store and is like, "I need a bee. It's a busy bee," and he like it's some other animal, but it's like striped black and gold. I don't remember what the animal was.
Oh, it was
it was something completely different.
yeah. Well, dude, I appreciate that clerk's fucking diligence 'cause he was trying his best to find a
No.
substitute.
Yeah, he found honestly better
It was like a
substitutes than
fish.
what she
It was
settles
like a
with.
fish or
Yeah.
something, and it's just like,
Yeah,
but
that
it
wasn't
looked
even
like
the
a
same
bee
colors.
because it had the
Yeah.
black and gold stripes, and it's like, I don't think it was a fish, but it was something
Yeah.
like that, and it's like This it was a bear. It was like a teddy bear.
Well, yeah, she says it's a
He's
bumblebee
like-
that squeaks
he's
is
like-
what she's looking
Right.
for.
Yeah,
So
this
he's
is
like,
a
well,
this is a
here's
fucking bear, not a
Yeah.
bee. I need to. But then she ends up like actually taking like a jellyfish or something that's
Yeah.
like every color of the rainbow that looks absolutely
Yeah.
nothing like what she was going
and
for.
doesn't squeak. Like
Yeah.
literally just pick the worst thing.
Yeah, those are the psycho dog owners.
Yeah.
in that couple.
I mean, they're all kind of
they're all psychotic
to some
a
degree,
yeah.
but they're probably the craziest. I mean,
So,
they get disqualified.
Christopher Guest in the film is Harlan Pepper. Aside from having what I think is by far the best dog in the movie, God, I want that dog. He's really good at naming nuts. We learned that early in the film.
Nut.
Yeah, bring us some nuts.
He seems to be like the most like normal person.
Yeah,
You know, like he like the one that feels like he doesn't belong in that world.
yeah. So genuine.
Yeah.
So I
Just doing
was
it 'cause he
wondering
loves it.
after watching the movie, since you mentioned your mom watched dog shows.
Yeah.
Like one thing I feel like they skipped on this movie is, and they did it to focus on the characters, but there's not really much of a dog show. You see, like you literally see them just walk the dogs around
Yeah.
and then judge them only on that. I'm pretty sure there's probably like actual things they have to do.
No, dude, I've
Is it-
seen.
is it
I've
just
seen it.
like-
I think this
looking at the
this
dog?
version of the show is literally
So-
just
Yeah.
on
So
like
so
crazy.
so the
appearance.
owner brings the dog out. They walk it around the little thing, and then they get in line, right? So the judge watches all of them come out and get in their little spot in the
Yeah.
queue, and then she goes around to each dog and looks at them, and then there's another thing where they come up and put it on a table, and she like inspects like behind the ear.
Inspects
She
the-
always
yeah,
grabs
yeah.
its
Yeah,
nuts.
I saw
Yeah.
that. Yeah, they showed
like,
that in the movie.
That's literally a thing
That's
that
it?
happens. It
Yeah,
happens.
yeah.
and
No,
then
literally
it's just
fucking-
literally
that's all,
on
though?
vibes. Like
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
I picked that one.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
and,
there's-
so weird.
like so everything after that, like it does that with each dog, and then
Yeah.
like it has them go around again, and then it picks
Yeah.
like the order
So
that
it's-
it wants the winners in that
It's just
heat or
it's
whatever.
just a
that-
touch and a look.
Yeah.
That's all that determines
A
the
whiff.
greatest dog in the world.
Yeah, very odd.
Seems fucking stupid.
It felt very unofficial. Like there's not even like a panel. It's just literally one guy goes
but
up.
the thing
and
is, though,
points.
there has to be, and the reason is because I used to watch these with my mom, and she watched a lot of them, and she would be able to tell you, okay, that one's gonna win.
Yeah.
like
Well, I know. I
she'd be
I
like-
assume there'd be some like physical challenge and like feats of
No,
of
like so.
something.
Yeah.
for a
So
dog
at
to
one
do.
point we were watching one of these, and I don't remember what kind of dog it was, but I saw this dog, and I'm like, I want that dog. She's like, yeah, that dog's not going to get a very good score. I'm like, why? And she's like, because it looks playful, and that's probably why you like it. But like, that's not what wins.
Amateur. That's an amateur
not what
choice,
wins
Dustin.
In this
Yeah.
fucking show. I'm just like, damn.
No, I'm sure like it's
She was
really
right.
it's super technical assessment, but I feel like there would be like I don't know they'd like actually measure their capability somehow, and this is insofar as running and endurance
Well,
and
Well, I will
Shit
say
like
though,
that.
if you actually watch the one thing they don't really get is if you actually watch like one of the Westminster dog shows, the dogs doing the like run around and stuff and the walking is much more graceful than it is in this movie. I mean, like these dogs are like
Yeah, like prancing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
trotting
No,
like,
it's-
like
yeah,
fucking
there's-
horses. It's
yeah,
crazy.
and that the form would be like the subtle thing
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
have to be into it to really
That's probably a whole nother level of dog actor.
yeah.
yeah right.
I feel like this film was just meant to make fun of the people that,
Yes, it
get,
was.
that get into
No,
this.
it very much celebrated the dogs. I mean, you
Yeah.
walk away from this movie like, God damn,
I want
those
a
are really
dog.
nice dogs. Every one of those dogs was
I want
gorgeous.
that dog.
I thought so the flex
Yeah.
Catherine O'Hara and what's his name? There's a
Eugene
running
Levy.
Eugene Levy who had two
Yes.
left feet.
Yeah,
Yes,
and two left
very
feet
funny,
and like extra
weird
teeth.
joke. Yes.
Extra
always.
buck teeth, giant buck teeth.
there's a running joke that Catherine O'Hara slept with like thousands of people in her past, and they just keep running into people. That
Yeah,
it
those
was like such a
interactions are
funny
fun.
way they
Oh,
did
yeah.
it that didn't
Yeah.
feel just like she's a whore type of jokes.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the one of the people they run into, played by Larry Miller, in this guy.
Yep.
most bland name.
Yeah.
But he is a very
Yeah.
professional actor. I really wish his character had stuck around more. I thought he is just so fucking funny.
Yeah. No, those interactions were really well done. Honestly, that was
Yeah.
like a fun,
And
subtle.
it was
humor in the
like it
show.
was kind of in every one of their scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it also like I wasn't to the point where it was just like, okay, bring the she's a whore joke.
Yeah.
Like they did a good job of kind of
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like tacking it on at the end to
Yeah.
where you
Yeah.
kind of
It
weren't
was-
expecting it somehow,
was-
even though it's
yeah.
happened every other time
Yeah.
they've been on
Well,
screen.
when it did happen, it was fun too.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were each different somehow, and the interactions seemed genuine.
Just like everybody knows her.
And the guys just immediately do not
Yeah.
care about Eugene Levy.
No, and it's funny too because they see her across the room too. Like they like fucking like whoop, like mongoose, like oh shit, oh, and they're just so like high school, college memory, like oh yeah, we totally fucked that time. It was great. Yeah, this movie is a lot of fun for sure. It's the characters are all like just pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to all
did not.
the stars. We
did
got
not.
Jennifer Coolidge, Jane Lynch, Fred Willard is Fred
Fred
Willard does a
Willard.
fun job as the commentary. You can tell he's like the color guy, not the play-by-play.
He's
Yeah.
so funny. Oh my god.
Completely
I love him.
ridiculous lines from that dude. Some great ones.
R.I.P. Fred Willard.
Yeah,
He died like last year.
indeed,
Yeah.
indeed.
Ed Begley Jr. is the hotel manager.
Yeah, just a great cast, a fun movie. If you love dogs, you'll love it. I actually was torn because I knew that I wanted to do this movie at some point, and I thought that I had a couple of different options. It was a good pairing with a documentary, and also I love dogs.
Right.
The Wes Anderson film, I think it'd be a good pairing with that
I love-
as well.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but
I Love
anyway,
Dogs is such a good fucking movie.
yeah, it is a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Wes Anderson.
I
man.
think Best in Show is my favorite Christopher Guest movie, but I do highly recommend A Mighty Wind.
Oh, okay. Right
That was
on.
very funny.
Yeah.
Waiting. I mean, they're all funny.
I always wanted
Waiting
to.
for
I always
Guffman.
wanted to watch that one. I never got around to it.
Yeah.
So you say you haven't seen A Mighty Wind?
I've seen
I haven't.
Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman, A Mighty Wind, and For Your Consideration.
Oh.
They're all mockumentaries, all have roughly the same cast, and they're all like,
Mighty Wind was
hilarious.
kind of my least favorite, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of like, I just thought it was slower. Like I don't know. I was just most disappointed. I was looking forward to that because it's about like a folk,
Mhm.
like a folk band, and I'm just like, this is gonna be awesome. Christopher Guest doing like a folk, and to me, it just like kind of. I just thought it was the most slow paced.
Didn't have enough energy.
Yeah, it didn't have enough energy, which you would expect with music. It would have more, and it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's
especially
folk
'cause it's like-
music, though. It's like,
Well, yeah, but bluegrass has
yeah, this is more
constant
like,
energy.
yeah.
I mean,
it's
it depends
not-
on the folk. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like downy, like faux Bob Dylan-y type shit.
Yeah.
It's what's that? I don't remember what that's called. It's a NPR radio show that's like something country. It's very much that like
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I liked what they were trying to do. I just thought that, and I actually enjoy the movie. I like Christopher Guest movies, but I just thought it was kind of like one of his weak ones.
Yeah.
He's got a newer one that I've not seen. 2016. It was a Netflix original called Mascots.
Mascots.
A lot of the same actors, but of course.
No,
it's-
I think I looked
it's
at that. I
another
never
competition.
watched it.
Yeah. But yeah, I Christopher Guest is
It's fun.
just a breath of fresh air. I love him. Love his movies.
All right. So, whose turn is it? Who's is it
My
you?
turn.
Is it you, Reese? So this is the point of the every third show where I turn it over to Reese for the last two segments.
Yeah.
He's going to tell us what you should go to the theater to see, and he's going to tell you what we're watching in episode 36.
Yes. Okay. In theaters this weekend, we have 3 Christian movies we don't need to talk about.
God, 3.
Still, okay.
we
Reagan.
don't
I'm
need to-
counting Reagan as a Christian
Yeah.
movie. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Should you be?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the
I
only
don't
reason they
think
like
it's
him, right?
important that we
He was
talk
Christian.
about the Christian movies,
No.
but I do think it's important that we talk about the number
I
of
mean,
Christian movies.
there
every
will
week.
be. There may be.
Because
a
if
good
the number
movie
starts to
going
grow
then.
substantially, I think we've got
There
problems.
may be. So
There may be. I will say none of these
Yeah,
are
yeah.
those.
Yeah. Now, we don't have to mention the ones that aren't, but we should at least read through them.
If there was a good Christian movie, I would support it.
Right.
The three are God's Not Dead, In God We Trust, Reagan, and The Forge. Those are the Christian movies.
Wait, God's Not Dead is
Forge?
not a new movie.
The Forge
This is God's Not
is a
Dead,
title.
comma, In God We Trust. This is the wait for it, 5th God's Not Dead movie.
Oh my god, I've never seen one of these.
Would you believe God is still not dead?
No.
Yeah.
The returning classics are Despicable Me 4,
Still there.
still,
there.
Twisters, Deadpool and Wolverine, It Ends With Us, Beetlejuice, which I have not managed to see. But you saw it. You didn't talk about that.
I actually thought of it while you guys were going through your stuff, and then we just kind of went over on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did see Beetlejuice. Am I the only one that's seen it here?
Yeah, I haven't.
So-
the family saw it, but I didn't see it.
So I watched it without rewatching the original, which I've seen a million times, like everybody. But it's been I'm in bad need of a rewatch of the. Well, was in bad need. I rewatched it shortly after. So watching it, like I wasn't really sure. I was like, this has got a lot of throwbacks to the original, and it's kind of like it's got like a little bit of cheese to it, but not too much. And I didn't know if. But it never felt like it was trying too hard.
Yeah.
And I liked it. It was the fastest fucking movie I've ever seen in the theater. Literally, like, I felt like I had been watching it for a half hour and the movie was over.
right.
Like, it just flew by.
It's not short either. It's like an hour
then,
45.
Like, there were a couple things I was unsure of, just the tone of the film and how, like, had just an underlying little level of cheese. And then I rewatched the original and I'm like, they just kind of matched the cheese that was in the original.
Oh yeah, the original one's very campy and cheesy.
And so I really like. I do have a couple minor things I'm not going to get into because it kind of gets into like plot line spoilers and stuff. But there were a couple things that I thought were a little soft, but for the most part, I thought it was like you said, a breezy summer blockbuster.
Yeah,
like it's I definitely think it's worth a watch, especially if you're a fan of the original. You're gonna like it.
Yeah,
it returns almost everybody. So the one thing I will say is, if you've seen the original, the dude with the red hair that was like the principal in Ferris Bueller's
Winona
Day Off.
Ryder's dad in the movie. Yeah.
Yes. So he died, right? Like the dude that plays that guy is no longer with us, and I guess rightly so. The way they had the story.
Okay,
like,
so I will say he's not dead.
He's not dead?
He's a convicted pedophile.
Oh, okay. Well, he's dead then.
Yeah, he's dead to us. So yeah,
he's dead to Hollywood.
Yes, yeah.
And so, but they didn't choose to write him out.
They just kind of dropped him, right? Like they don't even
They
mention
just
him.
animated his scenes.
Like the character is still in it?
Like, yeah, the character's still in it.
Yeah.
Like CGI type stuff? I didn't. This is the first time hearing of this. I'm shocked.
Well, they basically animated a backstory.
That he changed something. Changed
okay. So basically, they animated a backstory of how he died.
Okay.
Yeah, he dies in the movie. Like the character dies in the movie, and like they basically, since he's not actually an actor,
yeah,
like they did like a little animated scene to show how he died.
Huh.
And then like then he's just in the movie for the rest of the movie, but he doesn't have a head.
Interesting. I didn't know his character's still. I mean, that's fine. He's like definitely
and
the worst part
and the
of
little
original.
animated part they give you shows you why he doesn't have a head.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
That is.
I don't know. It's a little weird. But like, honestly, man, you watch the original and you see these fucking sand snakes, and it's like it's not any weirder than anything they did.
It's fine, but it's just like the method of writing the guy out.
I thought they just literally just dropped the character, like didn't even mention and your dad's been dead for 3 years, or
Yeah, and I don't know.
He's not an important character.
At first, I was a little annoyed by it, but then like watching, it's just like, you know what? Like the family dynamics that they had here, like I kind of like that they just stuck to the script that they thought up, you know.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, I think the dad's just a jerk in the original. He's not.
Yeah,
like,
he's not anything
and
important.
like all they're really doing is like shitting on his grave anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just like they just did. I don't know. It wasn't like a long drawn out thing. It's not like it was like a 3-minute scene. They just do oh, this is how your dad, like, oh, you didn't hear? And like they're telling the story and like they literally do it as like a little like cartoon.
Huh. Interesting.
And then like he dies and his death no longer has a head. And so they don't have to show his face. So it's just somebody else basically for the rest of the film. But
this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick and clean.
Cut them out.
I thought it was fun. Like as far as cutting somebody out, cutting their head off and keeping them in the movie is kind of a baller move, man. Like, like fucking up your script because they want to be an asshole.
Yeah.
That is not okay.
Right.
Yeah. It came out last week. So yeah, I'm hoping to see Beetlejuice soon. Came out last week was Speak No Evil, new James McAvoy thriller. I'm probably gonna skip it. I don't know.
Alicia Washington said it was just frustrating the entire time. It's
Yeah.
like a really unrealistic stupidity on the part of the characters.
Yeah. Well, because like the whole premise of the story is built around just like letting somebody walk all over you and like being polite and then letting somebody just absolutely fuck you up because you're just being so polite.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's what she said, and it's fucking she said it awful.
I saw the trailer.
I saw the trailer like 4 too many times.
Yeah.
A new, I guess, horror movie called Never Let Go, starring Halle Berry. It's coming out. No, I've not seen anything about this movie. It says the plot synopsis is: as evil takes over the world beyond their front doorstep, the only protection for a mother and her twin sons is their house and their family's protective bond. So, yeah, I guess. And then there's a new Transformers movie.
Another one.
It's an
I
animated
saw the
one.
trailer for that.
It's probably the highest chance we have of a half
illustrated animated, like not.
No, it's CGI.
Oh.
But it's like it's called like that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but
I think I've seen that advertised.
I don't really know how it's connected or if it's connected to other movies. If it is, it's a prequel. It's called Transformers
It
1.
kind of seemed like a.
I think it's probably on
standalone thing.
Megatron or on.
It's
the
on
planet,
the Transformers planet.
Cybertron.
So yeah, I don't know. It could be fun. It's
There is
And
good
we get to
stuff.
see how they became deceived by the Decepticons.
Well, no,
should have
dude,
saw it coming.
there is actually good. Like, there's pretty good story in the Transformers universe. Like, I don't think they've even done it justice. Like, there's some good shit
Yeah.
in there.
I mean,
I don't know if that one's good, but there is a good dynamic between, because like the dynamic between Megatron and Optimus is they were like brothers in arms during the war on Cybertron. So like there's something there.
yeah. If it's anything like the recent animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, then it's probably fun and worth a watch.
There was a good series on Netflix that took place on Cybertron.
Yeah.
It was Optimus and Megatron.
Yeah.
That was good.
But I mean, the cast is Lawrence Fishburne, Steve Buscemi, Keegan-Michael Key, Scarlett Johansson, Brian Tyree Henry, and
Chris Hemsworth. So
I'd be okay with Lauren
like half the Avengers
Fishburne as a voice actor. I'm alright with that.
I'm very curious to see what character Steve Buscemi is playing.
Megatron.
But yeah, those are the new movies.
That's it. All right.
Also, I wanted to point out a new trailer came out for Mickey 17. This is Bong Joon-ho's first film since Parasite.
Okay.
It looks very fun and really interesting. I would say if you want to watch the trailer, it's fun. Maybe turn it off at some point because it shows a lot that I can't really imagine how it's not giving away something about the story.
Yeah.
Maybe watch like the
I'm
first
not going
30
to watch
seconds.
the trailer. I'll wait. Do we have a release date?
Yeah, January 25th,
Okay.
which is kind of crazy.
2
'cause
days before my birthday. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It was originally supposed to come out on the day that Godzilla X Kong came out, and they pushed it because it was not ready yet. So it's been delayed quite a bit. But
All right.
and then
what we'll do.
I also saw, I thought
people might be interested to know, there's a remake of Salem's Lot. It's a movie, but it's going directly to HBO Max, and it looks kind of fun. So wait for that to come out October 2nd.
Nice, nice.
All right.
Okay, and then my picks. You said that you were picking a something based on a genre we hadn't really explored yet.
Yeah.
So I looked up the genres as far as like, genres, not like subgenres of going deep. But I feel like the only two genres we have yet to cover a single movie on are musicals and war. We haven't done like really a war film. I was thinking about maybe just doing one of each, just screw it, like let's get them both over with.
So I know this because I thought about these things also when I made my last pick, because these are war, and what I found is it's impossible to do a war double feature because all the good war movies are like 3 hours long already.
Yeah. But I decided to leave war to somebody who probably has a more personal war favorite film.
Right.
So I chose for my musical, I am doing Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of, is it Fleet Street? Yeah, Fleet Street.
So I'm really excited about this pick. Really excited because I've never seen this film.
Yeah, that's kind of what won me over.
And it's one that I've wanted to see forever and just have never watched for literally no reason. Yeah. So I'm excited about this pick.
I was thinking about one that I hadn't seen. The one I was leaning towards was Dreamgirls. But then I saw you hadn't seen this, and it really fits in with Halloween movie season. And I have only seen it once, and I remember really liking it. So I'd want to give it another watch. It is streaming currently for 11 more days, which is plenty of time for us. Yeah. But it is streaming currently on Prime Video. I have the Blu-ray, so no need to worry there.
Nice.
But it's only about 2 hours, but it's too long for a double feature as far as a full-length movie.
Right.
So instead, I wanted to go with another music-themed movie, but a shorter one. So I picked Sound and Fury. Have you seen this one, Dustin?
Sound and Fury?
Yeah, it's animated in like a CGI anime style. It is a visual album for Sturgill Simpson's album Sound and Fury.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's exclusive, it's an exclusive to Netflix. It's only about 40 minutes long. But I love visual albums.
Yeah.
And it's just something I think we have been getting more of in the past few years, but it's never enough. I feel like most good bands should be making visual albums.
It's a very good one, and the album is good, and there's a lot of really good songs. Have you seen this, John? Yeah. It's what actually, like, Brett Hall told me forever that I should listen to Sturgill Simpson, and I never did. And then I watched The Dead Don't Die, and I'm like, oh, Sturgill Simpson is about some shit. Yeah. All right, cool. He's about some shit, and I can get behind this guy. And then Sound of Fury came out, and I watched Sound of Fury, and I was like, now I really respect this guy, and this is one of my favorite albums of all time. So actually, this is fucking awesome to me because it is one of my favorite albums of all time.
All right.
I'm not a country.
I'm excited.
I'm
excited about
country guy. But
I'm excited about next Wednesday, which is, I gotta say, every single time when we are like finishing up the episode, I always really feel excited about that next Wednesday. Like, watching the films with you guys is one of the highlights of my bi-weekly schedule.
This is a good pairing.
Yeah,
I think, for sure. Yeah,
it's Sturgill Simpson. His first few albums were country, but in a way, like almost like more of like a folk country, like a Bob Dylan.
He's super interesting, man. There's also like in some albums jazz elements.
Yeah,
and shit. Like he's super well rounded.
Like just gorgeous lyrics.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, fantastic lyrics.
But this album, he leaned more towards a rock.
Yeah. Now this album is all fucking over the place, man.
Yeah.
And the visuals to accompany the songs make the songs so much better.
Yeah. It's a badass little 40-minute movie.
Yeah, it's very anti-establishment. It's very about some shit. It's very just poignant and personal. Yeah, it's good shit.
All right.
And like I said, that is streaming on Netflix for anyone who wants to watch it in the meantime.
All right. So that is going to do it for this episode.
Yeah. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in or listening back.
Yeah. Fuck off, everyone.
See you in 2 weeks.